Glad we're here another day. Hold on. Blessed with the activity of your limbs. You're still here in spite of what's going on, in spite of that temporary situation that you think that you ain't gonna get out of. You are still here another day. Blessings to everybody. As you know, many of you didn't get the opportunity to call in and, debate or give, your opinion. And I want to provide you with that opportunity. I didn't want you to miss your chance. Mm-mm. Because this is a topic that we were supposed to actually been spoke on, but the audience for it wasn't big enough at the time. Plus, it just wasn't the right appointed time to bring it. But now that we're here, hold on for a minute. Let me set this up. Okay. Okay. Bam. Okay, man. So listen. Um, of course, you guys, gonna get the opportunity to call in. I just want to say a few things before we get started, but I want to give you guys opportunity to get in here. You know what I mean? Before we get started, want to give you the opportunity to get up in here because I don't want you to miss anything. Hold on, let me come in the comment section like this then. I mean, there was some people, man, that got up in the comment section. Then there was people that was actually calling. Um, ain't no need to even give place to that. What's going on? But now I'm going to give you, before I even begin, I'm going to wait till a little more, give you guys a good 2 or 3 minutes to get up in here. Make sure you're hitting the like button as you come in. You hit the like button as you come in. Make sure you share this video, giving other people an opportunity that would speak on the subject a chance to speak on it. Inform them of it. Troy, what's happening? Blessings to you, bro. Namir, blessings to you. SE, what's happening? King Difference, Vlad, what's going on? I should have called in before my meeting yesterday. Yeah, are you in a meeting today? Cause they would love they would love to hear us debate. Me and you've been going back and forth, you know what I mean, since kids. You said you hold on. You available? I was in a meeting too. I was mad I missed the first part. Jay, blessings to you. I'm pretty sure we're in agreement on this topic. Oh, okay. Okay. I was I was seeing if you disagree because you one of my favorite people to debate with. Plus, I respect those who are college educated, scholars in specializing in their field that they decided to major in at the college that they attended. I love to debate, especially people like my cousin, because he's very intellectual, very smart man, very knowledgeable man. But get them likes up. Get those likes on one accord. But yeah, cuz if you want to, when I open up the phone lines, you're more than welcome to sit up there. I could even call you. It's nothing. All you got to do is speak the word. Keep it up, bro. There's no other platform like yours. Salute, King. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm just a nobody endeavoring to tell everybody about the game. And even when I'm not speaking on the game, I'm conveying game within that video. Just like I'm gonna convey some game before we get really into the topic. So, Popo the Prince, Bar, what's going on? QE. Do we have like people that Terrence? Why is it 92 people listening and it's only 65 likes? Come on, brothers. Sisters, get them likes up. Ladies, get them likes up. You know, get it up. Very serious topic. People really don't understand, pin my Cash App. No, this is not really a Cash App type video. If the mods give it to you, they give it to you. But if you notice, like in my spiritual videos or videos like this, I don't be trying to get no money, man. If it come, it come. But I'm not asking for no money. You know? So that's why when you see my spiritual video, no, if you a mod and you put it out there, that's on the mods. But you'll never really see me in my spiritual videos or my messages to the youth put my Cash App, and that's just not my thing. I'm broke, but at the same time, I'm not hurting for crumbs. I'm broker than all y'all that's in the comment section. You know what I mean? I'm defining a new level of broke, but at the same time, I'm not hurting for anything. The game is touch somebody and say the game is meeting my needs. Amen. East side of Chicago in here saying salute to the game. The message is worth more than any currency. You ain't never lied. Yvette, what's going on? Rich in spirit. Amen. You know? JP the gentleman. Glory to God. Thankful for this game. Good afternoon to all the beautiful ladies in here. Peace to all the brothers. Amen. Saying thank you for your advance for this message. Everyone make sure your comprehension and frequency high for this. Blessings to the message. Okay, we've been in here long enough. Let me just tell you some things. On yesterday, and this is why everything happens for a reason. You may not know what happened, why it's happening. You might not know why it's happening, but everything in your life happens for a reason. On yesterday, as you know, I had pretty much had to get at Popo the Prince because Popo the Prince was in the comment section and P was saying some things, and because it's him, if it had been any of you, I probably would have 9 out of 10 kept going. But due to the fact that it was not just a mod, but it was a representation of my lifestyle, I stopped, And of course, that threw off some things at that time. I'm saying all that to say this. That's why it's so imperative to mentally respond and not emotionally react, because even when that was going on, what you didn't understand was Popo the Prince phone was buffering. So by Popo the Prince phone buffering, we was ahead of him. And so he thought, at different times, when I was saying this, he like, man, why Sin keep going back and forth? And why, it's taking him this long to say this? His phone was behind. So, of course, when everybody was going at him, he got on the defense mode. But my point is, I couldn't say the things that I wanted to say to Popo the Prince in front of you guys because it's not your business. Okay? So the thing is, I had to wait until after I got off of YouTube simply because Popo the Prince is a representation of my lifestyle. And I don't treat representatives of my lifestyle like squares. I love squares. But at the same particular time, of course, I see the P to be up here. So no, I would never, go at the ism, with verbally crucifying him, rebuking him, reproving him, and presiding over rebuking service, for something that could have been dealt with privately. Now, if it had been something abominable, I would have had to deal with it right then and there. But that was a situation that we just wait till we privately speak and deal with it. And once we spoke, he gave understanding. You know what I mean? I had to sit up there. I said, bro, what's going on? I called to check his temperature, and P was just letting me know that, no, man, his phone was, messed up. When he came back and actually listened to the replay, he was like, wow. It all made sense now because we was ahead of him. So it was just simply a misunderstanding. But watch this. Because he's a participant of my lifestyle, and because he's a representative of my lifestyle, notice that, I dealt with the situation accordingly. I did not deal with Sepulveda the Prince publicly. If you look at all the situations that I've been in, such as roastings or going back and forth, with different individuals. If you look at the situation with Rosebud, you look at the situation with Johnny Cash, all those situations was initiated by them. Those are situations that we should have had either handled one-on-one, speaking to one another in person, or on a one-on-one or a conference call amongst, the representatives of the lifestyle, not to go back and forth, minimizing each other on the internet in front of non-participants. So not only do we make each other look bad, but you make the lifestyle look bad, because at one time you guys were laughing and fellowshipping and basically professing to be brothers and partners, and then on the other later on, y'all going back and forth. That could have had been avoided if protocol was followed. And I'm coming to a point, whenever there is structure, whenever there is protocol, you must follow it. We could avoid misunderstandings by maintaining outstanding understandings with one another. But due to the fact that when you have no chain of command, when there's no protocol, when there's no love, no respect, people just do whatever they want to do. All right? And see, I'm coming to a point, I just want to show you something, that even though I'm not talking about pimping right now, even though I'm not talking about the game right now, if you actually would have listened and opened up your eyes, you would have seen that even though this situation transpired decades ago, this situation got so many gems in it, it can be a blessing to you even to this day. So whether you're living a lifestyle that, is pertaining to spirituality or carnality, reality is camaraderie is a necessity, amongst the brethren. All right? So even if let's say we gang banging, okay? And let's say, Sepulveda the Prince, he start a gang and I start an organization. All right? In a gang, and this ain't no disrespect to nobody, we just going according to the origins of your culture and everything like that. But if you listen to a lot of the representation from other areas, they always say, we ain't got no chief. We don't have no big homie. And they was happy about it. They was happy about not having a leader. And man, that's why we could do whatever we want to do. But they didn't understand that when, the people without vision perish. The scripture says in a multitude of counsel, there is safety. So my question is, to you, if the scripture says that in a multitude of counsel, there is safety, why wouldn't you appoint counselors? Why wouldn't you appoint people, with ranking? So even like I said, you don't have to be a Muslim. You don't have to be religious, spiritual. You could be an atheist. You can be an agnostic, you know what I mean, and learn from this situation. Because we see that when you have no order, when there's no rules, no regulation, when we don't have people with proper, you know what I mean, protocol. I mean, if people are not following proper protocol, we see the destruction that it leads to. If Brother Malcolm would have handled things more privately, or if he would have handled it more wisely, there's a great chance that Brother Malcolm still might be here today. But you don't go and expose your father, so allegedly expose your father to the public. Some of y'all even got that bad. Your sister, your brother, your cousin, your best friends, your pee partner, or whoever, you run right back to the internet. The internet has become y'all diary. And as a man, the internet shouldn't be your diary. That sounds feminine as hell for you to have Facebook and Instagram as your diary. As soon as somebody hurts your feelings, you like a damsel in distress running to the damn internet and putting shit in your story to speak down on your brother, to speak down on your father, to speak down on your uncle, to speak down on a nigga that was a friend to you, somebody that was in with you, you know what I mean, from adversities and difficulties, put money on your book, show loyalty when you was in a correctional facility. And for you to sit up there just because you have a discrepancy, you sit up there, you understand me, and make statuses on Facebook and on Instagram, that shit is feminine as fuck. So that's why I had to sit up there, you understand me, and bring this, because you couldn't see the game. And I want to show you that this game is in everything. You can get game. It don't have to be pertaining to your lifestyle. If you open your eyes, you will actually get the substance. You will get the game from that situation. You'll be able to eat the meat and spit out the bones. But when you have a closed mind, you know, on some, man, I ain't no Muslim, man, shit, but I don't care nothing about that. That's a fool. That's the thoughts of a fool. Because a wise man will even learn from a fool, but a fool will never learn from a wise man. All right? So, you know, that is very feminine. That's emotionally reacting, running to the internet, running to the public. Oh, man, you done pissed me off. I'm going to the internet. I'm going to Facebook. I'm going to make a status about you. I'm going to make a video. I'm going to expose you. You got too many, and I want to say male Jezebel, but it's this one YouTuber. He just keep taking my lingo, and which brings me to another point. You talking about Dr. Deuteronomy, the one that has no originality. You know what I mean? The one that keeps stealing all my lingo, all my stealing my teachings and converting it and perverting it. You understand me, to some square talk. You know, and never give an acknowledgement. That's the same way. Imagine how your teacher feel, or somebody who laced you with game, and then you take, you know what I mean, the teachings, you know what I mean, and not even honor the man. Of course, this is not Brother Malcolm, but I have to just speak on this, period. We just talking about honor. When somebody has blessed you with knowledge, you are supposed to acknowledge where you got the knowledge from. And not just acknowledge where you got the knowledge from, but you are in debt to the information and the representation that gave it to you for the rest of your life. How long am I supposed to honor? As long as you keep reaping off the benefits of the information that the individual gave you. How long am I supposed to honor? How long am I supposed to acknowledge him? How many times I'm supposed to bow down? As many times as you reap off the benefits of the wisdom that the person blessed you with. So you got to acknowledge that knowledge for the rest of your life. You are indebted to the information and the representation that gave it to you. You know? So I just wanted to bring that out to you, that imagine me, you know, Sepulveda Prince and myself, we're not Muslims. We're what you would call the scum of the earth. We're sinners. I'm a backslider. You know, we do things that society don't agree with. People within religiosity don't deal. They don't accept that. They don't like that. And how is it that the scum of the earth? How is it that the hoodlums, the guys that you look at as, oh man, he's just despicable. How is it that me and Sepulveda Prince, you know what I mean, spoke to each other privately? Sepulveda Prince didn't get into an attitude and say, you know what, I don't like the way Sim was talking to me, I'm about to make a video. I don't like the way Sim was talking to me, I'm about to jump up in Johnny Cash's DM and I'm about to join up with Johnny. I'm about to sit up there and go to Shantae's stuff and I'm gonna say, yeah, man, you know, Sin ain't no real pimp. I'm about to make videos with him. You know, I'm about to bash Sin every day. I'm about to go in on Sin every day. I'm about to create my own platform. I don't like the way he was talking to me. I don't like the way he was talking to me, man. I don't like that. You know, he could have did that. Hold on for a minute. You know, yeah, it's sad, but that is how they get down, Prince. He could have did that. But what I'm saying to you, how is it that criminals, two people that are considered to be carnal, how was it that these two men was able to speak, come to an understanding, and move on? You know? So I think that if I can do that for Sepulveda Prince, who ain't even never even he didn't birth me, he's not my spiritual father, none of that. He just representation of my lifestyle. If I had that much respect and love for the game and a participant of the game, then how come Brother Malcolm didn't have that for his spiritual teacher that enabled him to be who he was? You know, exactly. So I hear you guys, you know, in the comment section, you know, firing off and everything like that. But hey, no, that's not gonna rock with me. You know, because like I said, let me just put it in the vernacular of realism. You know, hey man, if I fuck with you like that, you ain't got to worry about me, you know what I mean, slandering your name. I'm not that type of guy. I don't get down like that. You know, if we're brothers, if we're partners, you know, man, we could even be just associates. It's just the way that you move. And that's what I meant by, you know, the difference between a gang and an organization. A gang banger, he just move. He emotionally reacts. He just move. You know, he don't think, he don't strategize, he don't organize his thoughts to get the best results out of the situation. If it's just a confrontation, he just move without thinking. You know, he just move. But when you are in an organization, and when I said all that to say this, you know, when I speak, I'm speaking in times past because that's not an organization. The stuff that you're seeing in Chicago now, that's not an organization. There's nothing organized about, you know what I mean, what's going on. Hold on for a minute. No, brother. No, that's not accurate of what you're saying. But I'll let you out when I open up the phone lines. You can call in with what you think to be the truth, but you got to understand that whenever I come to any debate or any discussion, you got to know that I got confirmation of information that I'm conveying right now. So not only do I have the links, you know what I mean, that came out of Brother Malcolm's mouth, the time, all of that, you know. And no, Brother Malcolm basically was speaking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad on the adversary's platform, not just speaking against him, but speaking against him on basically the white man's platform. Brother, save that. Like I said, man, you guys, the arguments is child's play. You know what I mean? You don't think before you speaking. I mean, you don't think before you speak. You just be speaking. You know, that doesn't make sense. So what would you say, what's going to be your reply for going on the white man's platform and basically sitting over there disrespecting the one that taught you? Come on, man, get your mind right. Now, don't make no statement. Just sit on the sideline and get taught. Most of you ain't doing nothing but repeating and regurgitating what you done heard other YouTubers say. Things that they were saying. They was just saying it for shock value, and by you being, you know, that's just how black people are. Somebody can shout and scream and use profanity, and y'all just gravitate to it. And it's no disrespect, you know what I mean, to Lil Pharaoh. You know what I mean? I know y'all love Pharaoh. I heard seen some guys in there yesterday. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna call young Pharaoh. Yeah, like little bro God or something. I don't know young Pharaoh, but I don't see him the way you see him. You know what I mean? You have to understand, a lot of people jumped on the Nation of Islam because they looked at the Nation of Islam as a way to grow their channel. That's how, and they know the Nation of Islam is not what it used to be. Because if the nation was what it used to be, you wouldn't have seen nobody speaking that wouldn't even transpire. You would have seen nobody calling Farrakhan, you know what I mean, a bitch. Well, no, what do you mean it's not fair? You have all the clips. That's a goofy statement. We can listen to the thoughts of Brother Malcolm. We done seen plenty, you know what I mean, of messages come from Brother Malcolm. You know? That's like somebody saying the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know what I mean, he was called a pedophile, you know, but he wasn't coming to the press defending himself. It's not fair. It's not fair. You sound stupid. It wasn't fair for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be painted as a pedophile. It wasn't fair for the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for his greatest representation at that particular time, his son. It wasn't right for his son or fair for his son to go on the white man's platform and speak against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad either. So man, save that unfair shit. You know what I mean? As my grandmother used to say, take that shit to Walgreens. You know, sell that shit. Maybe somebody will buy it. It's not fair. It's not fair. You know, knock that shit off. It's not fair that many of you don't know anything about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, and you got your goofy ass up in the comment section calling a man a pedophile. And then when I asked the nigga that called in yesterday, I say, what's the ages of the girls? And do you have any proof of that? He didn't even know what the hell he was talking about. No proof, no evidence, or any of that. He was just like, man, they was underage. Okay, brother, what's the age of these underage girls? What was their age? What was their age? He couldn't tell me. Why? Because just like y'all, he's repeating the shit that he thought that was smart. He like, oh, that sounds smart. I'ma repeat it. I know how niggas think. You sitting over there just repeating what you think that was smart, you know, that you heard from some YouTuber. And because he used some words that you was unfamiliar with and quoted basically some paragraphs, you know what I mean, from this speaker or this speaker, you know what I mean? And by you not knowing history, after this person finished regurgitating all of this shit, you thought that this was divine revelations. Come on, man, knock that shit off. You guys ain't done no studying. You looked at a Spike Lee movie. You looked at a Spike Lee movie and thought that you had it. Stop it. Your child's play. Let me see. And that's another thing I want to tell you about emotionally reacting. The spirit of wisdom ain't gonna lead no black man to basically call this black man a bunch of bitches and all of that, and say fuck this black man and this bitch, and then got a bunch of black females that profess to be black women cheering on this nonsense. That was dumb as hell. Had a bunch of black females just in the comment section cheerleading, you know what I mean? Just sitting over there with the pom-poms on. Just cheerleading, getting their Kevin Samuels on. Just cheerleading like a motherfucker, you know what I mean, for this shit. Come on, man. Knock that shit off. Hold on. You didn't know what you was talking about. You were just sitting over there repeating what you heard. It's evident here the research that I've done, brother, because you hear it. When I told you, case in point, when I told you that it wouldn't make sense for Brother Malcolm to leave the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and become an Orthodox Muslim and follow Muhammad, who basically had, you know what I mean, his favorite wife, Aisha, and when he married her, she was 11 years old and then had conjugal visits with her, you know what I mean, at 14. You know what I mean? That right there would tell you that Brother Malcolm did not leave the Nation of Islam, you fool, because he thought he was just so self-righteous. You know, when he seen the Honorable Elijah Muhammad with these teens, he said, oh man, I got to get out of here. So that destroys that whole narrative right there. Because if he had an attitude against men being involved with young teens, he would have never became a damn Orthodox Muslim. That's your research, nigga. That's your research. You know what I mean? That doesn't make sense. You know, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, that didn't make sense, man. In other words, if you think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was a pedophile, why you leave one and go to another one? And then, you know, that's just crazy. You guys believe the narrative because, like I said, it was taught to you by a movie. All you got, if you want niggas to believe something, all you got to do is put it on the screen. Don't put it in a book, because the nigga ain't going to go in the book. But if you want a nigga to believe something, just put it on the movie screen. He'll believe that shit. Tell him that get a 43-pound white guy and put him on the cross and tell him, look at your Jesus. They gonna believe that shit. You know? Oh man. You know, he married Alicia at 6. No, that's not accurate. No, brother. He married her at 11. You know what I mean? Hold on for a minute. Some might say 9, some might say 11, but the Prophet Muhammad had 11 wives. And then because of the Quran, that was cut short to 9. That's accurate. So some might say 9 or 11 as far as that 6 shit. You know what I mean? That's just people editing things to make things sound, you know, even worse. I heard he got married to her when she was 6 months. Huh? Yeah. Prophet Muhammad, he got married to her. She was only on earth for 6 seconds, and they got engaged right then and there. As soon as she came out the womb, he had the engagement ring. Like, come on, man. You know, people would put 60-inch rims on a convertible if you let them. People would come out with 60-inch rims, you know what I mean, if you let them. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, you know what I mean? They got married at 6 months. They got married at 6. Come on, man, stop it. Knock that shit off. Okay, hold on. Okay, let me see how much time I got. Okay, I got a little more time before I open up the phone lines and listen to these long speeches. You know what I mean? People trying to tell me this and trying to tell me that. But after you finish telling me this and telling me that, what's not going to make sense to me is, and it's not just Brother Malcolm, we're just using this situation, you know what I mean, as an example. But like I said, for you young men that's listening, you don't handle things like that. If your pastor, bishop, leader, overseer, whatever the title may be, if you find fault with him, come to him as a man. You know, deal with him. You know what I mean? Everything should be established by two or three witnesses. Come acknowledge, you know, this fault amongst the brethren. Everything got to be done decently and in order. And I'm sorry, going to the press or in today's time, running to the internet every time you have a discord, you know, with somebody in your congregation or, you know, one of your family members, you know, that's just out of hand. I just think that's some very bitch-made behavior for a guy to just be running to the internet, You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't fuck with that nigga no more. He ain't this and he ain't that. Come on, man. Then you done got your Wendy Williams on so bad that the man got to sit up there and clear his name. You know? Okay, hold on. Okay, brother, I understand what you're saying, but you from Chicago. I actually expect more out of you. You sound like you from somewhere else. Check this out, man. To whom much is given, much is required. I know what it's like to have people that's older than you and they jealous of you. I know what it feels like to be lied on by older ministers. I've been through some things in my life, so I completely understand when you're around people that's jealous. You know, you had older ministers that was jealous. You know what I mean? Because the youth, I had the youth. These are just facts. As a young teenager, the youth would gravitate to me. They came to listen to me. I was a part of this one ministry by the name of Power Hour. And, you know, the brother that was over that particular, service within the Way of Holiness mission, he was jealous. Even though he was appointed, by Elder Mosley to preside over the youth, but I was just more popular amongst the youth. So, they would come to me, and he didn't like that. He didn't like that, after he would teach and preach, it was, wasn't nobody really moved by that. Then he started trying to steal messages from me. That's later on. I explained that, but I've been there. I never was as high as Brother Malcolm. Not putting myself equal with Brother Malcolm, not at all. But I understand what it feels like to be lied on. When somebody try to dim your light. I know what that feels like. So but at the end of the day, everything that transpired in my life at that time doesn't give me a license to backslide. It doesn't give me a license to leave the will of God. It doesn't give me a license to make justifiable reasons on why I'm not in the will of God now. So I can't use that as justification for why I'm not in position doing what I'm supposed to do today, and neither can you. So, we just have to be men. When you're at fault, no matter who lied on you or what happened, that's what men do. We take the blame for it, even when even when it's not your fault, it's your fault, because that's what leaders do. Leaders don't run away from responsibility. A leader just gonna admit that, it was my fault. That's a leader. You know what I mean? That's a leader. That's what leaders do. Let me see, brother, you don't make no sense. If you got, oh my God, Lord, people should just sit down. You listen, let me say this to you. If you take a young man and you lie on him, and you get that young man off of that auxiliary because you lied on him, that one lie can play a major effect on that person's life. I know firsthand. So let's say a young man began to get discouraged because he's no longer on that auxiliary. He's no longer moving the way he was moving in the ministry. And he allows the spirit of discouragement to compel him to basically backslide. Then he leaves, the will of God. He leaves the congregation. He stopped fellowshipping with the people of God. He's not concerned of doing anything pertaining to God. Now he comes into the streets. And let's say if that young man gets into a lifestyle that either ends him in prison for the rest of his life or in a lifestyle where he can lose his life. Brother, think about what you're saying before you speak. Be quiet. You're not fit to teach me. Stop it. You haven't been through what I've been through. You're not gifted like that. Brother, hush. Be quiet. Like I said, that one lie can lead to that brother losing his life. That one lie can lead to basically, many tragedies and correctional facilities. You don't know. Stop it. You don't know what. So you looking at people will look at the fruit of the problem, but if you trace back the very root of the problem, you'll see that somebody lied on that man. You'll see that somebody was jealous of that man. Open your eyes. Look at the game. Okay, brother, let me listen. From now on, when I open up the phone lines for you to call in, make sure you call in. I don't want to argue with you in the comment section, brother. I'm not going to go back and forth with you on the comment section. Blessings to you, brother. I got to move on. You know, when I open up the phone lines, make sure that you be the first one to call in. All right? Not going to go back and forth with you on that, bro. But what I will say is this, man. You know, when you trace back the root of a lot of problems, all of them problems don't be because somebody was molested or this. It could be. It actually could be, you know, some individuals that this young man looked up to. The individuals that he looked up to was actually jealous of him and wanted him out of the way. You never know. You never know. You know, you never know. So, you know, like I said, you know, it takes a strong man, you know what I mean, to keep going after being lied on. And I'm pretty sure Brother Malcolm was lied on. I'm pretty sure that people within the Nation of Islam was putting things in the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's ear, you know what I mean, about Brother Malcolm because they didn't want Brother Malcolm in the Nation of Islam because, you know what I mean, they was just jealous of him, you know? You know, they was just jealous of him. They was jealous of because Malcolm was the face of the Nation of Islam. When you say the Nation of Islam, you know, just being honest, a lot of people thought of Brother Malcolm. These are just facts. But at the end of the day, with all the lies, with everything that the brothers did within the Nation of Islam, to whom much is given, much is required. To whom much is given, much is required. You know, some of the same things that Brother Malcolm, you know, faced with. If you go back in time, Khalid Muhammad was speaking against Brother Malcolm. There was a time that, you know what I mean, Minister Khalid Muhammad was saying some foul things about Brother Malcolm. But when he got into the same situation that Brother Malcolm was in, when he started having a discrepancy with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he now understood, you know what I mean, Brother Malcolm a whole lot better. You know? So like I say, you know what I mean? It's many people that spoke against Brother Malcolm until they was in a circumstance that was similar to it. You know what I mean? So I don't want you to think that I'm completely disrespecting or picking apart Brother Malcolm's legacy. No, not at all. I'm just saying that in this circumstance, Brother Malcolm could have presided over this situation a lot differently and wisely, you know what I mean, and accordingly. That's what I'm telling you. I'm telling you that in that circumstance, Brother Malcolm did exactly what I did and others. That's what I meant yesterday when I was saying that I failed. A test was given to me at that time and I failed. Ain't no other way to put it. There is no other way to put it. I had a test at that time and I failed. I failed the test. I got into my emotions. I got into my feelings. You know what I mean? I didn't think that what's going on was right. And then another thing was when I got sat down in the ministry, I was still teaching and preaching. I was still preaching at other congregations. You know, it was other pastors and bishops trying to get me a part of their congregation. And there was brothers within the Way of Holiness Mission that was taking it back to Elder Mosley, letting them know that, yeah, we heard Brother Philip, we heard Minister Philip on 1390. You know, 1390 was a popular radio station. It was the gospel radio station in Chicago. So they was telling Elder Mosley everything. You know, you set Philip down, but yet, you know what I mean, he's on the radio preaching, and he's supposed to be set down right now, and he's still preaching. But see, like I said, I can relate to how Malcolm felt at that time, because your mind is going to tell you that God didn't sit me down. Man sought me down, set me down. I didn't get rebuked or corrected by the creator. You know what I mean? The creature did this. The creature lied on me. The creature set me down, and the reason why I'm not doing this within the ministry. So why should I sit down at other congregations and not teach and preach, you know what I mean, at other so I completely understand. This is not somebody that can't relate. I can relate, you know. Hold on. And their image. Right. Exactly, Clyde. See, Clyde, you understand. You know, like I said, it wasn't, see, you keep people looking at Malcolm, and I'm showing you the circumstance. I'm holding the mirror of truth even to myself, letting you know that I failed. And my test wasn't even as big as Brother Malcolm's. His test was in a whole nother galaxy, you know. But that little test that I had as a teenager, I failed it. And that situation that I failed, that played a major, you know, part of a lot of things that occurred later on in my life. But that traces back, when you want to get back to the root of things, it goes back to that place. It goes back to that circumstance. Hold on. Big bro, did any ministers take your place? See, it's not, hold on. It's not so much of that, but what I will say, what they tried to do is they tried to mold different brothers, you know, to make them how I was, and they just didn't have it. You know, all my life, you know what I mean, that's just a gift that God gave me, you know, to minister, to teach, to preach. You know, you can wake me up and tap me at 3 a.m. and I'm just gonna get up and teach, you know? Brother, I told you to be quiet and just wait till, you know what I mean, it's time. You was doing too much. You know, it wasn't so much that the anointing wasn't the same. A lot of them didn't have the anointing at all. It wasn't that it just wasn't the same. It's just that some of them didn't have the anointing at all. You know, but that's a whole nother subject. You know. So if you fail, does that mean that they won? The enemy won. Yeah, absolutely. If you take a young man who once used to get up faithfully at 2 a.m. to pray, read his word, if you take that same young man who used to wear suits, shirts, and ties to Dunbar Vocational High School and carry a briefcase with his homework and the word of God and on the inside of it, you take that same young man who didn't even go to the lunch cafeteria. A lot of young people started leaving the lunch cafeteria to come up in the library because they knew that's where Philip is at. And I want to ask him questions about the Bible. Plus, I'm just curious why he don't have no girlfriend, why he don't use profanity, why he wears suits to school every day, why he only listen to gospel music, why he's not getting involved in carnal conversations, why he don't flirt with anybody. He don't flirt with none of the girls. He don't put himself in a position for his good to be evil spoken of. He don't make provisions for the flesh. There's something different about this young man. This one over here say he a Christian. This guy say he a Muslim. This guy say he a Presbyterian. This one say he an atheist. But it's something different about this young man that say he's in holiness. We ain't never caught him in nothing. Exactly. So if you take a young man like that who was once disciplined in a lot of areas, and now you got that young man, you take his whole world and you flip it, can he still give the Most High the glory if you put him in a bad circumstance. If the same people that he professed love for, if the same people that he's willing to die for, if you take some of them same people and you use them against him, will he be able to maintain his salvation? And that's why I say I fail. Yeah, that's how it was. You can ask anybody. Why you think that when people from Chicago come in the comment section that know me, they will tell you. All you got to do is ask them. Do you think that Phil was going to end up in the lifestyle of pimp when you knew him at Dunbar Vocational High School, or those that knew me at 8th grade at Sullivan School? They're gonna tell you, hell no. You know, they're gonna tell you, hell no, man. They said, man, everybody knew what he represented. You know, he was loud with it. He wasn't hiding with it. You knew that he was about holiness, salvation. Okay. I was thinking like after Malcolm failed the test, Farrakhan was groomed to take his place. Brother, you have to understand, and I'm gonna just say this, and after I speak on this, we'll open up the phone line. I love Farrakhan. I have a love for Brother Farrakhan and a respect for Brother Farrakhan. But in my honest opinion, Farrakhan reminds me of different people that I once knew. And what I mean by that is, you have individuals, like I said in the very beginning, they admire you. You know, I knew one brother, he used to always want to pray with me all the time. And then later on, everybody say he pray like Philip. He pray exactly like Philip. He do his hand movements. He straighten his tie when he preaching. You know what I mean? Just like Philip. You know, he was studying me. Okay. So when I got set down in the ministry, of course, he was endeavoring to elevate. And I'm not angry at that brother for that. You know what I mean? I still love him to this day. But that's just what people do. In the beginning, they admire you. You know, it's admiration. But always remember that every man want to be the man. So the guy that's smiling with you, the guy that's like, man, Phil, man, I got a cousin that's a pastor. He's married, you know, children. He's a pastor now. Now, I'm not going to get into whether I think that God called him the pastor or not, because that's another subject. But before he was a pastor, before my cousin was presiding over his own congregation, when I was the man, when I was the young man, when I was the popular young minister in the city of Chicago, he wanted to be like me. He's older than me, but he wanted to be like me. He saw the attention that I got when we went to different congregations. When we would go to different congregations, different pastors would, is that Minister Gilmore that came in? Praise God, Brother Gilmore that just came in. He liked that church spirit. He liked that. He liked that popularity, that notoriety in church. He loves that. My cousin loves that. Let me come on up here and just speak for a little while. You know what I mean? My cousin loved that. He fell in love with it so much that now, you know, he's a pastor. You know, but that's in our young years. But yes, I think that in the beginning, everybody that, you know what I mean, want to be around you, they admire you in the beginning. And then, you know, it's just natural. They want to take your place. Don't feel bad about it. You know what I'm saying? But they would love to be in your place. You know, they would love to have that position. They would love for sisters, beautiful sisters in the congregation to be coming up, telling them, oh, I just wanted to tell you, I know that you're busy, but I just wanted to tell you that, oh my God, that message really touched me. That was all the edification that I needed this whole week. When you spoke on this, that was exactly what I was going through at this time. you know, and I was getting ready to backslide. I was getting ready to leave God, but I knew that God sent you to preach and teach that because that was just what I needed to carry me through. You know, they love that, you know, and you know, just to keep it real, these were my experiences as a teenager. When you got different pretty sisters and different congregations telling you that, did God show you anything? Because he been dealing with me about you. You know, that religious flirtation. That's for another video. But yeah, you know what I mean? If you got somebody around you that, you know, like you, they love you and everything, yes, they want to be like you. They want your position. It just come with the territory, man. Hold on. Yeah, yeah. See, Clyde, no. If you can sing, if you can play the organ, and my God, don't be a preacher. If you can preach, yes, religious coochie is gonna be thrown everywhere. Church coochie is gonna be thrown everywhere. I don't care what they tell you about. Spiritualist church, Pentecostal church, man, the Muslims, please, man. I done dealt with every woman in every walk of life. I done seen it all. But I had to understand that all of this was preparation for the life that I'm living now and the life that I'm going to live even after this. I was just perfectly groomed. Now, okay, let's go. You know that you laughed at that. Yes, religious flirtation. Um, Excuse me, brother Philip. Hey, how are you? Can I speak to you for a moment? Praise God, sister. Go ahead. Because see, I was a consecrated young man. I didn't give sisters like long hugs, and because that's one thing I was taught by Elder Mosley, that after you finish ministering the word of God, to hurry up and go home. After you finish preaching under the power of God and everybody's shouting and everybody's loving you, don't let the people make you into a God. After service, after you finish preaching, hurry up and go home. Hurry up and get away. Because after service, the people will have a praise and worship service and it will go to your head. You know? And I'm here to tell you that, yes, that will definitely, oh my God, you're so anointed. And oh my God, I was so touched, especially when it's coming from older women and you're a young man. You know? So like I said, man, you know, I wouldn't trade my youth, my young life for nobody in the game. So, well, people be like, you know, he was in church at one time. Why would I hide it? To be like you? To be like you, a regular statistic? Why would I want to be like any of y'all? My first time riding in the limousine, it wasn't in the pimp game. My first time riding in the limousine is when I was a young minister, when Bishop Mullins sent that limousine to my house. You understand me? No, I wouldn't trade my youth for your youth. No. I remember one goofy, he say, I was in juvie at this time and woo, 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 we are not the same. You right, we not the same. God had his hand on me my whole life. You right, we not the same. You right, little nigga. You right. We not the same. You right. Goofy, we not the same. You sitting over here, you know what I mean, and juvie, you know what I mean, with a bunch of other guys taking showers and things. Here I am, you sitting over there receiving orders from the big homie. You trying to please the big homie, and I'm a young teenager preaching to the big homies, teaching the big homies. No, we are not the same. No, we're not. I don't want to be you. I don't want that. Are you serious? Anyway, getting back to this game that I never left. You know, we gonna open up these phone lines, but yeah, bro had to sit up there and laugh a little bit, talking about some religious flirtation. I might have to sit up there and do a video on religious flirtation, cause Lord knows I got my testimonies. You know, but blessings to everybody, man. We about to open up them phone lines, but before we do, man, can we get them likes up? Yeah, y'all being stingy with the likes. Amen. Break yourself for the likes. Amen. Let your finger touch the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you click on the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the bell. I know I'm not talking about pimping right now, you know what I mean, but it's still some good game that's being given. So make sure you hit the like button. You know, hold on. Let's do this. Brother Philip, has God showed you anything? I just want you to know I had a dream about you. I had a dream and I was so consecrated, sister. Um, sister, hold your peace. I told one sister, I said, sister, hold your peace. And the reason why I told the sister to hold her peace, because I know she was about to talk about some old fleshly dream, about something. She was about to tell me a dream that God didn't give her, that had me doing some things in her dream that ain't had nothing to do with God. So that's why I said, sister, hold your peace. Hold your peace. Because I know that, has God dealt with you? Is God dealing with you? I told another sister, God is dealing with me all the time, sister. What is he showing you that he ain't shown me? But that's another subject, man. Let's get back. But yeah, y'all didn't provoke me now. I think I'm gonna have to bring that religious flirtation. Hold on. All right. Now it's time to hear the thoughts of the people, man. Y'all got a while to call in. The number is pinned in the comment section. The number is 702 800 9473. Hello.
Hey, Stan, how are you?
What's going on?
Nothing much. I want to, first of all, say I like the way you represent the city of Chicago.
Bless.
I don't agree. I don't agree with your lifestyle, to who you are. You are a good representation of the city all around.
Okay.
From knowledge of the streets, knowledge of the, pimp culture and our spiritual culture on both sides. So I like the way you represent. Let me say this, for all those young, ignorant, people who you have to rebuke, young Pharaoh doesn't know what the hell he's talking about. That guy has watched every anti-Nation Islam Jewish documentary that was made and regurgitated it. If these, little dumb niggas would research and read, they would see that he's not revealing anything new. All of that information that he, presented to them is new. It's already documented, but it's documented by the enemy. So that's nothing new. Two, I wanted to ask you if you could review the minister's speech on the sickness of jealousy and envy, and put give your perspective on it. I think you will enjoy it. I think you will gain a whole lot from it. And I think the way you interpret it will really translate to these little new niggas who don't know anything. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you, are you a young black woman or an older black woman?
I'm older than you. Yeah, I'm not young. I'm older than you.
Okay.
I'm familiar with your area. And actually, I wanted to call in yesterday when you had the brother George Macon, is that his name?
Yeah.
On the phone, and you are more popular after he died. I don't say this because I don't want to say too much. But my family was first generation, or my parents were first generation NOI. My father was a whole lot older than my mother.
Okay.
As the nation requires that the man be 3 times the woman senior, right? And I think you made a good point about Malcolm. If he was so upset with the nation, with Elijah Muhammad, then the most foolish thing you could do is run to Orthodox Islam.
Right.
So that wasn't the issue. But I'm not going to get into it. I love Brother Malcolm.
Right.
I love Elijah Muhammad. But the truth is the truth. But I'll tell you this. I asked my father, and this was when the Spike Lee movie had first came out. I was raised in a nation. I had never heard anything. They never talked about Malcolm. Ever. Parents never talked about him. They were in a nation, then they moved to, then they started practicing Orthodox. They never mentioned Malcolm. When I asked my father when that movie came out, I asked him, was everybody trying to kill Malcolm X like that? And my father was from the street. He had cleaned up his life, but he was from the street. He was around the same age. Farrakhan was their peer. They didn't like Farrakhan. My parents didn't, for whatever reason, because he was their peer or whatever. But, so my father was a lot older. Him and Malcolm was around the same age. And I asked him, I said, was everybody trying to kill Malcolm like that? He said, yeah. I said, yes? He looked at me like I was a goddamn fool. Like, yeah, shut that shit up. It is what it is. He was talking bad about, quote unquote, the old man. And not only that, Malcolm was talking about he was going to destroy the nation. Before the Nation of Islam, these brothers didn't know how to dress. They didn't know how to clean. They didn't have work. So you talking about you going to destroy your whole system? Okay, all right, okay, we'll see about that. And that's just how it was.
You're trying to destroy the man that created me. That's how a lot of them felt. You're destroying my father. You're destroying the man that took me out of darkness, that stopped me from gang banging, that stopped me from killing.
Exactly.
And then you're gonna stop the man who's also putting food in my mouth and money in my pocket to take care of my family.
Yep. And that was the biggest issue because they were getting money legally and illegally. I'll say that. The Nation brothers were. It is what it is. It's a process. It's a process to becoming whole, which I think, I'd be glad when you reach your pinnacle of maturity because I know you're going to be cold. But seriously, it's a process. So people have to remember Malcolm, El-Haj Malik Shabazz was Malcolm X. Malcolm X used to be Malcolm Little. Malcolm Little was Detroit Red who got busy in the streets on some gangster shit and pimp shit. So all that shit came back. He was foolish for not letting security, guard his daughter. That's another issue though. But his ego did get in the way. That brother's ego got in the way, and he did the big bad nigga shit. I ain't running from nobody. And it, things happen. But I love Brother El-Haj Malik Shabazz. I love the minister. Let me say this too. I see you're a good speaker. Everyone told you that. I see your influences too. I see them.
Yeah. My influences are all over the place. But if a person is from the city of Chicago, they should be able to tell, like, seeing mannerisms, the way he speak, his cadence, everything. You could go back to the days of Pastor Richard Daniel Hinton. You can go to Bishop R.L. Mitchell. You could go to Elder Donald L. Mosley. You could go to Elder Carl Redmond, Elder Patillo. Then you can go to Minister Farrakhan, Brother Malcolm, Khalid Muhammad. You know what I mean? Like even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Like they gotta understand, man. I didn't really watch, the same way that Kobe, watches Mike would watch Mike. That's the same way that I didn't watch teachers and preachers and ministers, man. You know what I mean? For years, when I was in Christ. You can see that, especially if you're from the city of Chicago. And the other thing is, I don't hide it.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
But you represent well. And I like that you are bringing, dignity and civility to and I hate to say this because I'm from Chicago, but I shouldn't be talking about no goddamn Fenton. But I like the way you bring civility and mannerisms to that. Put the principles in it, and inject some principles back in. Yeah. I don't know anything about pimping game, but inject some principles and standards in that joint. And I think you're doing that, and I think you are the gatekeeper around that. And you got a long, I think you got I think you're gonna be very, very influential.
Thank you. I appreciate
it. Yeah, so I wanted to say that, and I really would like for you to view that on YouTube too, I believe.
Okay, well, I'm gonna check it out, Lord willing. But let me get to this other
Yes,
phone
sir.
call, sister. I thank you. I appreciate you for
Yes,
calling in.
sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Say it for the P, man. Glad I'm on the line with you, man. It's Kim.
Oh man, blessings to you. Talk to me.
I want to say this. First of all, man, I've been listening to you for like 4 years, man. It's kind of crazy. I'm talking to you, man. You're a very intelligent guy, man. I like how you use words, man, and you break things down real smooth and in simple terms. That is a marker of an intelligent man that can make complex things very simple. So, I respect what you're doing, man. I learned a lot of games from you. But as far as the topic at hand, we're talking about Malcolm. I got his book on my shelf. I read his book multiple times, and I studied a lot on the history of the nation. I'm from Los Angeles, man. You know what I mean? I grew up at Crenshaw Christian Center. As soon as we got out of church, it was a NOI mosque down the street from Crenshaw Christian Center. Every time I'm on my way home, I see niggas out there selling bean pies, man. So, you know what I mean? So I kind of, you know what I mean? I'm very familiar with the nation too. Speaking on Malcolm and what happened with Elijah Muhammad, man, I'm gonna say this: that even if you believe that Elijah Muhammad was out of line for having those young women, even if you believe he was wrong for that, Malcolm still made a very bad mistake by exposing that. That was a mistake he made. That mistake is what got him killed. And a lot of people don't want to give credence to that, man. And Spike Lee's movie didn't make it any better. That caused more confusion. Malcolm should never have done that, man. He just should never have exposed that, because that was the opening that the enemy was looking for. You know what I mean? Of course, he had people that infiltrated the nation. Of course, he got his Negro minions that he used to infiltrate the nation, like he does every organization. But when Malcolm did that, that was just like the white supremacists was overjoyed when that happened, because he knew that it was over when Malcolm did that. You know what I mean? And book smarts and was self-taught in prison, but he had what we call practical intelligence. That's street knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
How could you make such a goofy mistake like that? Not to say, use the word goofy in line with Malcolm, because he was far from that, but that was just like a real bad mistake, man. That's what got him killed. Did the nation kill him? Ultimately, I don't believe that the nation killed him. But did the nation create the atmosphere, have something to do with the atmosphere surrounding his death? Yes, they did. Yes, they did, without a doubt, and nobody in the nation can deny that. Yes, they may not have killed him, because we know the white man wanted him dead, but they created and helped play a part in creating and setting that atmosphere. I'm gonna say this last point, man, and I'm gonna let somebody else get on. Is that Malcolm, man? When he did that, when he did that, and the nation, when they went at Malcolm and didn't protect him, they sealed their own fate without even knowing it. Look at the Nation of Islam today. They are nowhere near. A lot of people, they're like a joke to a lot of people. Not to me, but a lot of people don't take them seriously anymore at all. When they did not protect Malcolm, they sealed their own fate by doing that. Okay? So, I don't agree too with a lot of these niggas that's in the nation, man, that's getting on these platforms like Vlad and these other platforms, man, and they seem to just have this cold-hearted, disposition towards Malcolm. The man got shot dead in front of his daughters, and these niggas sit up here and get on this white man's platform, Vlad TV, talking about, the minister raised up a better Malcolm X. the minister Louis Farrakhan, nigga, get out of here with that bullshit. He ain't better than Malcolm. He's a man just like Malcolm was a man, nigga. Don't be they downplay Malcolm, and they don't, and I can't stand that type of shit when these nation niggas over here got this whole cold-hearted disposition towards him. Yeah, Malcolm made a mistake with that. But nigga, that man got shot dead in front of his family. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate you taking the call, Sinful.
Man, I appreciate you. I appreciate you calling in, conveying your feelings, brother. Blessings to you.
Yes.
Okay. The number that you see in the comment section, 702-800-9473. Make sure that you call in right now. Hello.
Sinful.
What's going on?
Yeah, it's George Bacon calling back in. What's going on, man?
What's going on, George?
Hey, I'm gonna be short real quick. Hey, I had a conversation with my dad last night about our conversation, and my dad said something. And my dad, he's 70. He was a soldier back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Vietnam soldier. Then he was a soldier. You know, he was a soldier in the nation. So he a little more. You know, he militant with it. And he told me straight up. He said he loved Malcolm, and they followed Malcolm, especially here in Philly. He said, but Elijah was their leader. And this is exactly what my father told me. This ain't my words. He said, Malcolm was great, and Malcolm, had he not died, probably would have been created something great, but we don't know. This is what he's telling me. Mm-hmm. He said, but Elijah created the platform that Malcolm and all the great leaders that came out of the nation, that's what we know him from. We know him from what Elijah created. And he said that when Malcolm X went on TV with Mike Wallace and said that he created a criminal organization to the white man after he spent time calling the white man the devil. My dad told me, he said, if he was in the Nation of Islam, and I'm sorry, my dad told me, he said, if Elijah, any one of them would have gave the order, they would have killed Malcolm, because Malcolm went against the grain when he did that. And he said, that's just the way it was. It ain't got nothing to do with how I feel or how we feel about Malcolm today. But he said at that time, when he went on TV and he made that statement to the white man in America, he went against the grain. And this is a conversation I'm having with my daddy.
Yeah, I would have to totally agree with your father. Your father is all the way in the right, and Malcolm was out of place. You know. Now, One thing I will go back on what your father said. Let's look at what the nation gave birth to. Look at all the minds. Of course, when we think of the nation, we only think of Farrakhan. We think of Khalid Muhammad, you know, but look at all the young brothers that they got now, man. These are some sharp cats.
Right.
And we also got to remember, even though people don't bring it up.
So yeah, a lot of people don't know that.
Yeah. You know, go ahead.
But that's what I'm saying. The greatness of what Elijah Muhammad created is like we're seeing the sun, and the sun is amazing. The sun is, you know, but we forget about the Father. The Father created the platform for the sun to shine,
right.
And the sun was supposed to take it to the next level. But what I don't do, what my father always told me, don't forget where you came from. And my thing is, I think that Malcolm made a mistake. That doesn't make him imperfect. I mean, he's not perfect. That doesn't mean that we shit on Malcolm for everything. He made a mistake. We wasn't there during that time, but my father just told me. My father said Elijah pulled brothers out of the gutter and built them up to what they were. And now they see Malcolm on TV talking about their father.
Right.
You know, and that's just what it was.
Right. And see, if you never been a part of an organization, if you never been a part of even just, you know, a mega church or just a church, and you had an important position, but prior to that, you was a gangbanger, or you was a guy that couldn't spell.
Right.
You was a person that couldn't read. It took you 81 years to solve 9 times 9. You know what I mean? Everybody laughed at you. You went into the streets because you didn't think that there was nothing for you academically. You know, yes. That's a lot of people came in the streets. I'm stupid. Might as well gangbang. Might as well get into some stuff in the streets because, man, I be having 30 teachers stand over me, man, to solve one problem and still don't get it done. So I might as well be out here fighting and killing and doing my thing, man, because don't look like nothing coming out this food thing. So,
And you know what's simple though?
Go ahead.
Real fast to throw in there, because I know you got wisdom, especially when it comes to the church.
Mhm.
It's kind of like, the funny thing is, when we talk about the Malcolm and Elijah thing, a lot of times people sweep under the rug with Dr. King and how the church turned their back on him the last 2 years of his life, and how they cut a lot of his funding and the falling out, that he had. It's like, so there's a lot of things that went on back then that's really not talked about. And I always ask questions, well, why did the church turn from King? Like, what did King say, in the media that made the church basically turn from him? And I know that you got wisdom behind that. We can speak. So there was a lot of things that went on.
yeah, but if you notice in the last years, a lot of people, that's why I say these people just putting their mouth on Dr. Martin Luther King and don't really know their history. But in Dr.
Right.
Martin Luther King's last years, he was coming to a lot of realizations that,
Yep.
you know what I mean, actually that a lot of that stuff that he was saying was some Uncle Tom ass shit. He did.
He started separating from it.
Yeah, you know what I mean? He is like, damn, man, I'm making all of these sacrifices, you know what I mean, to do all of this type of shit, but I'm coming to put it all in simplicity. Dr. Martin Luther King realized that he was still a nigga. And no matter
Yes, and his
no matter
speeches-
what what he accomplished, no matter what he achieved, he'd just be a nigga that achieved it. He understood that.
Yeah, because they always went in and he was talking about the war, and he was talking about the government, he was talking about so many things. They kind of blocked that out, and people don't understand how a lot of these black churches start shitting on King. His approval rating was down when he died, and then the year after he died, they killed his brother.
Yeah.
Allegedly, they found him in the pool in '69. A.D. King. They don't talk about this kind of stuff. Doc started really, putting feet to the fire, and a lot of people turned their backs on him. So it wasn't just Malcolm. We forget what happened to Dr. King. You know what I mean? So that's just what I wanted to put out there, because it's way more to the story than that. And there's a lot of people walking around with their chest up high, and a lot of these people was complicit with it. But we look at these people as leaders today. But some of these people is pieces of shit.
Yeah, most definitely. But what I will say is, because one thing that I am tired of, and I'm glad that you brought up Dr. Martin Luther King, I'm tired of individuals making these type of statements saying that Brother Malcolm should be celebrated as much as Dr. Martin Luther King. Now, I agree that Brother Malcolm should definitely be celebrated. But the problem with that statement, the reason why it's so problematic for me, is because it seems as if you want to minimize one great black man to exalt
To
another.
big up another one.
You know what I mean? And I don't like that. Let's just exalt.
I don't think that people understood how powerful Dr. King was, though.
Hold on. Let me say this. And I don't think they didn't understand the strength of Dr. Martin Luther King. See, it's easier for me to say that you the devil and say you ain't shit and woo 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 woo, and it's harder for me at times when I want to go off on you to basically hold my peace.
Yeah, I'll give you one better, though. I'll give you one even better, simple.
Go ahead.
I challenge the audience. Go in the archives and look up a speech that, oh, shit, I just said his name. What's the freedom fighter from Trinidad that coined the term Black Power?
You're speaking on, hold on.
The brother that, I just said his name in my head, and now I just drew a blank. When Dr. King died, he gave a speech in '68, and he told you who Dr. King was to them. He broke down. You got to go back to that speech that he gave. I think it was in April of '68 when Dr. King got killed. Stokely Carmichael. Go listen to Stokely Carmichael's speech. I think it was the night or the day after Dr. King was murdered, and you'll understand how important Dr. King was.
Right. They got it. Now listen. What year did you say?
It was '68 when Dr. King died. Stokely Carmichael gave a speech. I think the night of his murder or the day after. Go pull up this. I tell the audience, pull up Stokely Carmichael's speech and see what he said about Dr. King.
Right. See, I like what Brother Allen said. Contrary to belief, Martin was not nonviolent. He just knew we could not win because that we're outnumbered. Uh, and I have my own thoughts on the so-called outnumbered. Because you're not really as outnumbered as you think you are.
Yeah, no, we just lose faith. We lose that. It's not about numbers when you have faith and believe that you'll be delivered.
Yeah, it's not.
When you really believe in Scripture and you believe in the Word, there's no such thing as fear.
Yeah, that too. But just even moving away. Well, now I don't want to move away from spirituality. But what I will say is another reality is this: if we're going to battle and we're organized and we're on one accord with one another, you know what I mean? We got a plan, and we gonna, you know what I mean? I could give a less fuck about, them being having more numbers.
Well, you know my content. I got plenty of videos on that over the years. So that's my wheelhouse. That's what I talk about. But I'm gonna jump off. But I just wanted to just bring that in. And I'm lucky enough to be 46 and still be able to go to my father, because I know a lot of black men at my age and younger than me don't have fathers they can go sit down and get wisdom from. I'm lucky. And my father was fair. And my father told me, he said, what Malcolm did, if he would have got the order, he would have put Malcolm down. He said that don't got nothing to do with him loving Malcolm. Malcolm broke the oath.
Hold on, before you go, tell them your page, tell them your channel, so they can come see your content.
Yeah, y'all can go to the George Macon Experience channel. That's my new content. I got my nonprofit that I'm working with kids in the inner city, Urban Nerves Worldwide. I got an Urban Nerves channel. But for the stuff that we talk about here, you go to my George Macon 1 channel. I got like 5 years of teaching this history and breaking this stuff down, man. And I tell people all the time, especially for the younger people, when we have conversations like this, guess what? It's okay for us to disagree. As long as in our disagreements, the people that's listening get edified. We should be able to disagree intellectually and then build each other up. There's nothing wrong with if me and Sinful have disagreements, but I'm supposed to learn something in what Sinful was bringing when we in our disagreements. As long as we learn it from each other and it's brother to brother, disagreements is healthy, because that's how we learn. That's all I wanted to say, man. Thanks for having me.
Another thing, like I said, man, blessings to your father, brother. You have a luxury that money just can't buy. To compel you to ask questions, man, ask him questions every day, because
I do all the time.
Because the truth is, it's some history that's in his mind that's not even in these books. So you better soak up that game.
All right, bro. Thanks, man.
Blessings, man. Love. Yeah, man, that man got a luxury. He can just sit up there and call his father. I keep telling you guys, man, you already rich and you don't even know it. Your mama's still living. Some of y'all grandmothers still living. Some of your great grandmothers still living. You a rich person. You wealthy. Hello?
Hello?
Blessings to you. Talk to me.
Yeah, what's going on, Sam? I just wanted to speak on the demise of Malcolm. Basically, what I feel like is that was kind of pretty much that it was going to happen anyway. I just feel like that the demise of Malcolm, that like it was pretty much spot on with the demise of every other great black revolutionary figure that we had. I mean, like if you look at Malcolm, Chairman Fred, Brother Huey, I mean, like it's like whenever it's a black man and he's mobilizing black people and it's like he's trying to organize black people to advance, it's like they paint them as terrorists and then they tear them down. I mean, if you even want to go look as far as Gaddafi, I mean, like they pretty much did the same thing with him when he was trying to basically build a different financial system that was independent of the
Well, I want you to speak up a little louder.
Hello?
Yeah, speak up a little louder, brother.
Oh, yeah, but no, I was just saying that I feel like that what happened to Malcolm, they basically followed the same path that every other black revolutionary figure followed, whether it be Chairman Fred, Brother Huey, Gaddafi over there in the Middle East. You know, it's like they paint you as a terrorist and then ultimately they tear you down. Like if you look at what Gaddafi tried to do, how he basically tried to establish a financial system that was independent of Western powers, that was backed by gold, and then ultimately same thing. They are paying, same thing. But I just wanted to say, man, I just feel like that it was inevitable what was going to happen to Malcolm.
Okay. And that's your reasoning, brother? Well, thank you for calling in. Thank you for giving me your thoughts. But next time, have something better. If the question was, whether Brother Malcolm was right or whether Brother Malcolm was wrong for speaking against his spiritual father publicly on the adversary's platform, I expect you to come better than that. So I'm gonna give you some time. Blessings. Hello.
Sam, what's going on, bro?
What's going on with you?
This young girlfriend, 18 years, a brother that called a little bit regularly. I had the loud windows the other week, but
let me turn your
you're very
phone down.
Smart.
Hold on.
You said what?
Let me turn your phone down. Yeah, your phone on solar system. All right, go ahead.
Okay, can you hear better now?
Yeah, no, it wasn't the problem that we couldn't hear you. It's just your shit was super loud. But go ahead.
Yeah, okay. But saying you're very wise and you're very savvy. I see what you're doing, brother. I really see what you're doing. I really think your calling was to be sitting in the game like you in the game. I see you separating yourself, elevating yourself even above the game and from the rest of the pack by even, where you're going mentally and the type of platforms and the space you're allowing to open up mentally. So I see that. I just want to say that. I see what you're doing, and I don't think the game for you. I think you actually bigger than the game. I think the game is just an introduction to get the young minds to listen, but I think this thing is a little bit bigger than that. Saying.
I appreciate.
That's what I'm peeping. I'm peeping it. I'm peeping that. Ain't no other pimps in the game can open up a forum and have brothers talking about Malcolm. No other pimps in the game even thinking to do that, to think that it had a power to do that. And you being very humble by taking your power of young brothers looking at the game in the way they do, but taking the attention and wielding it and allowing new lanes to open.
Brother, I appreciate that. Now let me ask you this. Do you have an answer pertaining to the question that I'm asking?
Yes, I do.
The topic? Okay, go ahead.
Definitely. Right?
Mm-hmm. Okay, hold on. What were the ages of these young girls? Do you know?
That's what I'm getting into, Sam.
Go ahead.
If we looking from a spiritual, biblical, from the old, how this world really works and how they roll over in Africa and the Middle East, those girls are not considered underage. A top man would want a virgin. That's what you do in the real religion. When you live in the words and not just read them on the book, it's people out there like Pastor Dawa and people we see on the line, they live in that. So if the girl is 16, 17, and in those time of days, my grandmother, I'm from down south Atlanta, Georgia. My grandma's still alive right now. My granddaddy married her at 15. My dad was the first child. Us from down south, no, that's common down south for us to have aunties and grandmamas start having a whole family at 15 and 16. So we're looking at the time when Elijah Muhammad and all that went about. That wasn't an uncommon thing. That Elijah Muhammad, people from the south, if people know that. So I don't look at that. So when Malcolm found out what was going on,
mm-hmm.
We don't know. We only know what the movie said. We only know what we know from Malcolm's side. We don't know the whole story. So it could be because of the split and what was going on. A battery was going on. We know the FBI, COINTELPRO, J. Edgar Hoover, the original LGBT guy, they was trying to break up the Black Panthers, break up the Nation of Islam. So there's a lot of lies, fake deceit, fake messages going on. And so we have to look at all that and to say when Malcolm went to confront him, we don't know what all the information Malcolm had because he's not here. We don't know what all the information. We just getting all secondhand information.
Hey, brother, I mean, some people trying to clown you, but I agree with everything you said, and I'm gonna even take it a step further. Yeah, everybody try to give the South that reputation, what I mean, of older guys being with younger women, but man, I'm from the Midwest. I'm from Chicago, and that ain't nothing really but another way of saying I'm from Mississippi. But anyway, just keeping that thing all the way, 100. I've seen that all my life. So that's why when I see all of this new stuff, with everybody in the outrage, and I'm not trying to say, what's right or what's wrong. I'm just saying that if you're from the Chi, this was a common thing. Me growing up, seeing guys that was in their 40s, late 30s, messing around with 16, 17-year-olds, 15-year-olds, and then it wasn't even hidden, not just from the school, but it wasn't hidden even from the family of the girl. Like, these guys would pull up, in Blazers and pull up, in Benzes and things like that in front of the parents' house, and the girl can just hop right on in. This is what I've seen. Listen, man, it was a girl at Dunbar Vocational High School. She got her little makeup company now, but back then, she big now. But back then, this girl was in shape. This girl had a body that was made, handcrafted by God himself. You understand me? And after, school, we would always see dude pulling up. He had 2 trucks. He would just pull up. He wasn't meeting her in the back of the school. He pulling up right in front. And she wanted him to pull up right in front, so everybody could know that she's with an older man.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? This was just a common thing. Like, for example, watch this. The same way that everybody putting a flashlight on R. Kelly, they ain't put no flashlight on Prince. They didn't put no flashlight on Marvin Gaye. They didn't put no flashlight on Bobby Womack. They didn't put no flashlight on Aaron Hall. You know what I mean? I could keep going on and on and on. Everything that Rob was doing, it was done before him, and it was going on while basically, he was doing his thing. The rappers, the singers, they was doing their thing. Even Jay-Z, even Jay was involved.
Can I say one thing, Sam?
Go ahead.
The point that you're making, it's all about who the white media wants to say that is bad at that time. That's all that it's about.
And hold on. And when Massa, which is white media, sit up there and put that out there, just like a good bitch, black people stay choosing.
Exactly. They didn't like Elijah Muhammad, so they wanted to make it seem like that's why Malcolm fronted on him.
Exactly. And they bought that shit.
Elijah built real business around the country with farms, and we feeding ourselves real independence. And all people don't understand, any of us that go independent, the white people going to try to bring us back in.
Go see, I like you understand me, this conversation. See, this is like, I understand why it's 300 and some folks up in here instead of, 1,000 or something like that. People don't, now if I'm talking, about a popular YouTuber, if I was in here roasting, they gonna get up in here. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like for example, we started talking about stuff like this. No, now watch this. When they sit up there, you understand me, and said, Surviving R. Kelly was getting ready to come out. First of all, I was over here. I'm just gonna take 2 seconds and speak on it.
You was in Canada.
Yeah, I've just made it to Canada, and I wasn't able to see it at the time because I didn't know it was on Lifetime. I didn't know none of that, but I didn't even have a desire to see it. But Freeze was the one, like, bro. Freeze was even saying it, like, man, this ain't a good look, bro. They about to come for him, bro. This ain't cool. They really trying to railroad him. You know what I mean? They really taking it back. So, and like I said, the black folk, they just chose up on it. They, you know what I mean? Yeah, go hate him. Who you want us to hate now? Yeah, let's see. hate your own list? Who's on the hate your own list? Okay, Robert Kelly next. Go ahead, hate on him. Okay, yeah, go. Who else we're attacking next? Let me see. You go ahead and get him. He be talking too much. You know, man, we don't like this nigga anyway. He always trying to talk like
There
he's
you go.
smart. 15 and 20
Can I say
letter
one
word.
quick thing, saying?
Hold on.
To piggyback on that.
Go ahead and go ahead. I was gonna go, but go ahead.
No, they're attacking all black men that are heterosexual, that have multiple women or have the desire to have multiple women and have the resources to maintain and take care of those women. They villainize those men like that's something bad, but I'm here to say, that's why I listen into the game. Any black man on this planet that can have the resources and the knowledge to provide for multiple women, that's what God put us here for. So if they attacking a black man for us to have multiple women and be able to provide and protect those women, they are not for God. Period.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I already know that if I was to ever get in that type of position and I offend somebody that I ain't supposed to offend, they gonna reach back in 2008. They gonna be like, oh my God, you have allowed this guy, this pimp, this human trafficker, look at him, he had a case with a minor involved. He was the R. Kelly of the pimp game. He had 80 pounds of sugar in his pocket going to parks, you know what I mean, trafficking little kids. He was pulling up in front of nursery schools like Cuddy was in Dead Presidents with the sucker in his mouth trying to knock kids. And the black people, and because my people stay choosing, they're gonna be like, oh my God, send them to hell. Go take them to
Every day on that TV.
Yeah.
They run the same game on us on that TV, and we got to start listening to each other. That's what these shows, this internet, the one thing I do like about it, the brothers that are not scared to tell what's going on, we're realizing we the ones got to sit up and say the younger ones. We ain't nobody gonna give them the real but us.
Yeah. This was
That's what's up.
This was a good conversation, man. What's your name?
Yeah. I'm Yoga. I'm Yoga calling in from the ATL, man. I be on I don't have a YouTube, but I be on Eating Cole page, the brothers that travel down to the Caribbean a lot.
Oh,
and,
okay.
they be on
Shout out to Eat.
And
Shout
so that's
out
how
to
I got
Eating.
connected with you.
Yeah, shout
I'm
out
a part
to
of the expat community.
Oh,
And
okay.
I saw you on O'Shea. And
Oh,
so
okay.
I started watching in, and I know about that passport game. I called you the other day, and I told you they changing the laws in New York where they're not charging women
Oh, okay.
for prostitution anymore. They're not doing any more convictions.
I
So they're
remember.
changing the laws like in Canada. They're making it like U.S. like Canada. So the game is changing. I'm really thinking about giving me some a string of massage parlors where everybody know that it's a black-owned massage parlors. And if we're gonna participate in the game, if all the brothers gonna be tricking, go ahead and trick with a brother that look like you. You feel me?
Well, look, I'm gonna say this to you. If you want to make some money, get you a white face or a Jewish face to be in front of it. You know, that's
Heavy game.
Just I ain't gonna say too much, but
No, I
yeah,
got you. I
it's
got
cool.
you. I got you from that side of the game.
If you trying to make some money, get you a white face to be the face of that company, the face of that business. All right, man. Good looking.
All right, Sam. Peace.
All right. Let me see. If you want to have an unsuccessful business and you don't want it to be supported by black people, make it a black face. The model for it. Let me see. All right. Okay. Hello.
Hey, what up, brother?
What's going on?
Peace, man. Peace. Yeah, my take on the Malcolm X thing. I wouldn't say he's right, but I'm leaning to more that, I don't think he was necessarily wrong, Elijah Muhammad. Why? Because, in my opinion, both of them grew up as Garveyites. And Malcolm said when he was younger, his father was a Garveyite, his mother was a Garveyite. So the key ingredient to building a nation was Pan-Africanism.
And then again, one of his closest friends is Dr. John Henrik Clarke, who always talked to him about, hey, our history is deeper than Rome. Let's talk about Kemet. Let's talk about Nubia. Let's talk about all these other places. And Malcolm, pardon me, I don't really talk public all the time, but pardon me if I'm, messing up. But Malcolm, he traveled. He always was digging into different knowledge aside from the Nation of Islam. And then on top of that, when you got Elijah's son, I forgot his name, but you got his son coming to you. And Malcolm said, if it was somebody else, I would have killed him. Everybody think he is. Now, there's a brother on the YouTube who made a few documentaries. I think his name on YouTube is Brother Shabazz. I advise everybody to go check that documentary out. But my thing is, if I done built up a man to help me get to where I need to get to, right? And he helped me, he helped a lot of people through their lives and everything. And I built this man up, helped build this man up to the point where he's like God. Because Elijah Muhammad basically had the status of God, basically. They was getting money, they was doing things of that nature. But also, his son did say that there was one phone in Elijah Muhammad's house where nobody couldn't answer. And from what his son said, this is funding from other people that wasn't black, that was helping do a business with Elijah Muhammad. Now, getting back to Malcolm, the thing is, if you got Pan-Africanists on your side, you travel in the world, you meeting dignitaries, you meeting people from all over the world, and you seeing stuff outside of America, that's opening your eyes even more. So you thinking like, all right, with Islam it's one thing, but at the same time, if I just talk Pan-Africanism and center everything just on blackness, not necessarily just come with your religion, keep your religion to the side. Come with your blackness first. Now, everybody come that way, then he got more ears that's going to listen to what he got to say. And then at the same time, he's probably seeing like, with Islam, it probably only goes a certain distance. Let me focus on the Pan-Africanism, and it's going to push things even further. Because things, we have momentum with everything. Everything is momentum. They had the momentum at the time. But he's probably looking down further down the line, and he got everybody convinced that Elijah Muhammad could do no wrong. So he's the one who promoted them. He's the one who traveled for a short amount of years and built the nation up double, triple, quadruple times over, and the envy did come. People was hating. That's going to be, that's just a natural thing that we can't get rid of. I wish we could, but we can't get rid of that. But in my opinion, I felt like he had to take those bullets because
that's not
he was.
That's not the question, bro. That's not the question, brother. Hold on. I'm not going to debate you right now, and I wish we had. Maybe one day I'll open up the phone lines and we can have another debate on that. But the root of the Nation of Islam is not Pan-Africanism. That's a lie.
No, it's not. But he used that, and he didn't talk about Pan-Africanism, but he centered his talking points on blackness
I understand
to help lure people in.
I understand what you're editing it now, but that's not what you said originally.
I didn't mean to. I don't really talk in public like that. That's why I was like.
So no, I was just letting you talk, but no, the roots, for the Nation of Islam is not Pan-Africanism. That's totally contrary to the truth. But what I will say to you is that I understand what you're saying as far as, you know, the blackness and everything, and then, you know, Malcolm helped create an image where the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know what I mean, couldn't be seen as being wrong. But let me say this to you. Does that still change the fact that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was still his overseer, his guider, the one that provided knowledge and wisdom to him? Does that still change the fact that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave him the doctrine that he used, you know what I mean, to evolve
No,
into, you know,
it didn't.
go ahead.
It didn't change.
Okay,
It
so
didn't
if it
change.
doesn't,
and
so
this is,
go
and
ahead.
I got to agree with you on this. This is where I was trying to lead to.
Mhm.
I only felt that he went to white media only because he wanted to go elsewhere to voice his opinion. He didn't have nowhere else to reach his people in the masses where he could really say what he needed to say and get the things out there, you know, because at this time, you know, there's only one outlet. It's only recently we have many outlets due to YouTube and social media where we can really figure out our differences and voice our opinions and make corrections and things of that nature. And I would even try to equate that to the Biggie and Pac thing. See, I'm from New York, so, you know, Pac was right when New Yorkers was trying to clown everybody who wasn't from New York. And I wasn't feeling that because I like dudes from outside of New York. You know, I'm not, you know, limited in seeing other people express their, you know, different unique ways and things like that. So when Pac was like, yo, the radio bashing him, the magazines is bashing me too, and everything like that, then I'm you mentioning gangsters' names and stuff like that that you want to beef with. But, you know, I guess he felt like, yo, I ain't got nowhere to really voice my opinion. So I would probably equate that to Malcolm. Well, Malcolm probably felt like I can't really say anything nowhere else. I'm like shut off all over the place. So let me go out here and say what I got to say. I'm not going to agree with that being cool, but maybe he felt like the nation had a dead end after a few years.
Well,
maybe.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me say this to you. I wouldn't compare Tupac with Brother Malcolm, but I hear what you're saying. But no, I'm not going to compare Pac to Malcolm X. But what I will say is this: I will say that Brother Malcolm, you know, knew the consequences of his decision, but he allowed his emotions to get the best of him. And no matter how intelligent you are, when you allow your anger to govern you, your intelligence cannot be manifested to its highest degree simply because you're allowing temporary emotions to pretty much govern your behavior. And so the brother basically did things that was totally contrary to his wisdom. If he had just set the fuck down, you know what I mean, and got his thoughts together, he wouldn't, you know, like, is this actually worth my children growing up without me? Is this actually worth my wife, you know what I mean, presiding over my children without me? You know, is this worth that? I have so much work that is unfinished. When you go to war, you're supposed to be in position to war. He wasn't. How you gonna war with a nation? And then you know how this nation got built because you built it, and you're not equipped to go against it. So this made no sense at all to go against the Nation of Islam. You was not equipped.
Probably.
Hold on. You wasn't equipped to go against the nation. That was so we just gonna keep it a buck, man. This was stupid. You know what I mean? As we say in the street, hey man, don't go.
Didn't have to talk
hold on, brother. Hold on, brother.
Brother.
And I understand that when you're angry, you're gonna say and do some things that you have no business saying and doing. I understand, you know what I mean, when you're angry and you're not allowing wisdom to govern your behavior, you will say things out of your mouth and you'll just, you know, and that's what happened. You know, That's what happened. He ended up saying some shit that he couldn't take back, and he went too far. He went way too far. He stepped out there, you know. And I know, because you also have to remember, this is somebody who was once in the streets. So he knew that certain things, you know what I mean, how pretty much the brothers that come from the streets, how they was even going to see this. Even if what you're saying is right, why are you on the white man's platform saying these things against our father? Because that's how they looked at the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. You sitting over there talking against dad. You talking against father. You know. So this just, if he would have just really thought about this is not wise. This is not wise.
I agree. He probably could have just said, "Hey, I'm not with the nation no more. I'm starting my own organization. This is what it is," and he probably should just left it at that. You know.
Right. Well, I appreciate you for calling in, man. Good looking, brother. Blessings to you. But hey, man, check this out. People always say that if Brother Malcolm was here, he would be doing this and he'd be doing this and doing that. We don't know, and we'll never know, all because of the results of emotionally reacting. I want you to keep that in mind, the consequence of emotionally reacting. You know, emotionally reacting will cause you to lose your life. Ask King Von. Ask, man, we could go on, Pop. The list is long. When we go through that list of people who emotionally reacted, you know what I mean, and the price, the consequence, you know what I mean, that came for emotionally reacting, man, these people are no longer here. You know? You got to control them emotions of you, like I told you. As Jeremiah 17:9 said, the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. And if the heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked, why in the hell would you allow something like that to govern who you are, especially if you're a damn man? Why would you allow your heart to govern your Hello?
Hello?
What's going on?
What's up, man?
What's going on?
But, okay, the argument is flawed by you saying that Malcolm knew, you know, he wasn't ready for war. First of all, Malcolm didn't join the Nation of Islam for war. He didn't join the Nation of Islam to continue being a street dude. He was naive to the fact that they'll possibly his family and his life would be in danger if he went against them. He thought it was all love. So we're speaking on him like he knew it was war time. He knew they was that vicious, that everybody was, you know, they'll kill a brother. Nation of Islam, the teachings of Elijah Muhammad was not to kill your brother. So for you saying that, and a lot of people, I noticed they use that narrative like he was not, like he was stupid and he should have been ready for war and he should have never said that and put his family life in danger. Malcolm was naive. He didn't know it was that deep. He didn't know. He wasn't involved with the Nation of Islam to continue criminality and kill people and, you know, kill another brother. So he was thinking, you know, morally, like it was cool. Like, okay, Elijah Muhammad, you know, disappointed him. It's okay to speak out. He was wrong to speak to the white media. But I don't believe he thought it was that far. Like he thought it was a street business. Like, damn, I got to be ready for war. I got to protect my family. I mean, Elijah Muhammad.
Do you not hear me? Hold on, brother. Do you not hear me saying, brother? Do you not hear me saying, brother? Do you not hear me calling you and saying, brother? Why you keep talking?
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry.
Listen to you couldn't hear me because you was talking.
Okay.
But let me just say this to you, brother. Malcolm X was not naive. You're naive for saying that Brother Malcolm was naive. Brother Malcolm was not naive, brother. That's foolish for you to speak and say that Brother Malcolm, the one that helped, you know, matter of fact, the biggest helper of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, his greatest student at that time, you understand, knew the Nation of Islam from inside out. You're going to say that Brother Malcolm was naive. You see, this is
I
what.
believe-
Hold on, listen.
I'm not
This
saying
is
he was
exactly.
naive to everything.
This is
I think he
exactly.
was naive to the fact.
This
Okay,
is
let's
exact.
go, Doc.
This is exactly what I mean by just talking and not thinking about what you're saying before you say it. Stop. You just said that Malcolm X was naive. Like, did you even think before you said this shit? Listen.
Malcolm X is not a god. He's like any other man could be
You're
naive
not,
to
brother,
different situations. He was a smart man, but he could be naive too.
You got to be smarter than
Okay,
this.
so do you think
Stop,
Nation Islam was wrong?
brother, stop the whining. This is what I'm saying to you, man. Brother Malcolm knew how the nation would react, to this. He knew how the brothers would feel about this because basically he know where these brothers come from. The nation took people out of criminality, people out of carnality. They was coming from the streets. You got gangbangers and people that didn't know how to read. You had people that never had a job. They never got a real check before. Their first time of receiving legal pay was when they got involved in the Nation of Islam. How did you think they was going to feel once you got on a public platform speaking about their father? You lost right now. You're not thinking. And I know you're smarter than the statement that you're making. If you would actually think about the shit you saying, you'd be like, you know what? That was foolish. And you would come back with something that's wise or something that makes sense rather than saying that Brother Malcolm was naive. Brother, stop it.
So, this is what I'm trying to say. I think you're not understanding what I'm trying to say.
I heard exactly what you're trying to say, and that's the fact. It's the fact that you're trying to say it. Don't try to say nothing. If you would actually think about the shit you say before you say it, you wouldn't have to try to say nothing. You'll be just like the Nike sign and just say that shit. Now I'm gonna give you some time to get your thoughts together.
Malcolm X do when I speak to these dudes, they're gonna try to kill my family, burn my house down, and all that.
The reason
he believed it was love. He believed it was love.
No.
He believed
No.
that you believe the teachers of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you don't believe they'll kill their brother.
Brother, you can't be this gullible. You sound like a Christian. You know what I mean? Stop it, brother. The thing, what you have to understand, brother.
The animals. So you with the Nation Islam, why kill the white person ever?
Brother, be quiet.
To kill you.
Brother, be quiet and listen so you can learn, because you just talking out your ass. All right? What you have to understand is when somebody put nation business on adversaries, how the hell is it brotherly love if you speaking against our overseer, our spiritual father, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? Do you not understand that they thought that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was pretty much God in human form? And for you to sit and for you to go public and say the things that you're saying, you know what I mean, about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, how did you think that they was going to react to that? And you keep talking about brotherly love. I just told you that, you understand, they seen him as a traitor. You don't treat no traitor with no damn brotherly love. What drugs are you using? Yeah, man, you lost your mind.
From their perspective. You were speaking from their perspective. I'm speaking with Malcolm was thinking.
No, Malcolm was not.
Malcolm is smart enough to know, like you said, he's not naive. He's smart enough to know he's not going to risk his life speaking on Elijah Muhammad if he thought Elijah Muhammad and them was capable of doing that.
You just can't be this slow. I don't think that you're this slow. I just think that you're emotional. And if you would get out your feelings, I think that you would actually start speaking intelligently pertaining to the subject. But right now you're emotional and you're not making no sense. You're saying that the Malcolm X was naive towards basically a nation that he helped build, that he knew from the inside out. He knew the testimonies of these brothers. He knew that certain brothers was killers. He knew that what certain brothers did previously before getting involved in the nation, and the only way that they stopped was because they got involved in the nation. And for you to say the things that you're saying, no, Brother Malcolm is not naive, you're naive.
So you're just saying he was emotional. That was it. That's what got him killed.
He emotionally reacted and allowed his feelings to compel him to say something on a platform he had no business saying it on. The statements that he made concerning the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Nation of Islam, he knew if he, in his intelligence, he knew that there was a consequence to that. For it was Brother Malcolm that said that I'm a dead man walking. You don't, when you're naive to something, you don't make a statement saying that I'm a dead man walking. That's not somebody that's not, excuse me, sir, excuse me. You know what I mean? The brother already knew that from the gate. You know what I mean? Because first of all, you have to understand that even before Brother Malcolm had even said the things that he said, you know what I mean, that people already wanted to kill him. You talking about all this brotherly love shit. It was motherfuckers that wish Malcolm love you and profess to like you, and they standing right beside you. They could be praising God next to you. They could be speaking in tongues next to you. They could do all of that, but they want your position. They want the anointing on your life. They want the acknowledgement that you have. They want the magnetism that you have. They want people to gravitate to them the same way they gravitate to you. And if you gotta die in order for them to have it, then so be it. So even before Brother Malcolm made them statements that he made, there was brothers already in the nation that already wanted to kill Brother Malcolm because they had been jealous of him even before that took place. But when Brother Malcolm did what he did, that was the license, that was the authorization. It's just like with my situation. People was already hating and disliking me in the game. But when that whole situation came out, it just gave people license to basically sit up there and say the bitch ass shit that they always wanted to say. See, you ain't never been through nothing. And so by you never being in an experience like that, of course you wouldn't understand. You know what I mean? But them brothers already wanted to, brother, stop. Brother, hush. Okay, brother, I gotta let you go because you keep talking. When you should, brother, be quiet. Brother, be quiet. Brother, I wasn't even done talking. Brother, I wasn't even done talking. I gotta let you go. It's almost like talking to a bitch that ain't got no money and she trying to explain to you why she don't have it. I'm not gonna listen to you. I have to go. Okay, hello.
Stop over. Hey, hold on, P. I got my partner right here. He in the nation.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello?
Doing better now that one of the brothers is on here. Blessings to you, beloved. What is your opinion pertaining to the subject? Do you know the subject right now?
Okay, can you ask the question again?
The question is, was Minister Malcolm X wrong for speaking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad? And I even go further, I didn't put it in the title because I couldn't put it in it. They don't allow a question to be that long. But, speaking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, on the white man's platform. Go ahead. Was he wrong? Was he right? Was he wise? Was he unwise? What are your thoughts?
Moving in emotion, sometimes you're unwise. And it leads you into situations that, and it's hard to get out of. So the manner in which he did what he did, he should not have done it. He should have done it in a whole totally different manner, because you're dealing with people that have been brought from nothing. They didn't know how to read. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave them God in their self, a vision that will have us in our heaven. So you can't just go outside. You should have went to him. Go to him. Ask him. Talk to him. The teacher already told you sit down, so you have to sit down and be quiet. He told you before you opened your mouth, don't say anything. And you did. So now you're on punishment. Now you even mad, or you don't even want to stay on punishment. So now you really running wild. Now people see that you irritated, so now they all in your ear Now you just running wild and you got your family. Now you dealing with black people coming from slavery, coming from hating each other. And even when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad say, don't touch you, that's just like me telling my brother, go shoot somebody who just shot me. He's not going to listen to me. So, no, he shouldn't have done it in the manner in which he did it. He was wrong for that. Was that the question?
Yeah, that was pretty much the question, brother, and you answered. And I appreciate you for speaking your piece pertaining to the question, beloved. You enjoy your day.
Okay, I appreciate you.
Okay. Hold on. Oh wow, all these text messages, all these voicemails. Seeing to get to all that at another time. Hello.
Hey, peace, brother Sin. How you doing? This Clyde Hayes, bro.
Oh man, blessings to you, Clyde. Talk to me.
Hey, I agree with you, man. Malcolm was definitely wrong, and I'm just gonna real quick just make this point, and I can get out. Louis Farrakhan and Muhammad Ali, they both were recruited by Malcolm. Farrakhan was his student, and Muhammad Ali was recruited by Malcolm. But when Malcolm went astray, Muhammad Ali and Louis Farrakhan chose the loyalty to Elijah Muhammad over their loyalty to Malcolm, because they both believed Malcolm was wrong in what he did. Mm-hmm. For whatever that's worth, you know, I think that's testimony right there of two men
mm-hmm.
that both agreed that Malcolm he was wrong, and
okay.
he shouldn't have went to the white man.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll go ahead.
I want to challenge you, because somebody that saying that Malcolm is not wrong, I know some of the things that they would say. So is it okay that I challenge you right now?
I'll go ahead.
Okay, you're saying that he recruited Muhammad Ali, and that is correct. Muhammad Ali did hear the teachings. And one thing Muhammad Ali and Minister Louis Farrakhan have in common is that they both heard the Honorable Elijah Muhammad speak, and they was like, wow. You know what I mean? They heard
right.
that the brilliance, the intelligence, the wisdom, but they didn't become Muslims until after they heard, you know what I mean, Minister Malcolm X. These are facts.
Right.
It was after they heard Brother Malcolm that they said, I want to be a Muslim. I want to be in the nation. You know, because Malcolm just had that. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know what I mean, they had much wisdom, but when it came to speaking, when it came to the preach ministry, the teach ministry, Malcolm, you know what I mean, is pretty much second to none. He's cold with it. We can agree on that. Now, the thing about it is, the reason why Muhammad Ali wouldn't be a good example is because even later on, Muhammad Ali admitted, you know what I mean, that he was wrong. He said that, you know what I mean, I should have, you know, handled that situation a lot differently. You know what I mean, with Malcolm.
Okay, I didn't know that part.
Yeah.
Right.
Muhammad Ali was very sad later on in his life, you know what I mean, concerning his decision, you know, making as far as with Brother Malcolm. He think that Brother Malcolm should have been handled a lot different, because Ali even said that I just wish that things would have been dealt with a lot different. If I can go back, I would change that. You know what I mean? Because that was truly my friend. Now that came from Muhammad Ali. Okay. Now the reason why Minister Farrakhan would not be a good example is because Minister Farrakhan wanted Minister Malcolm X's position. All right. So him being set down, or him being out the nation, that benefited Farrakhan. So of course, you know what I mean, Minister Farrakhan is going to side with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, not just because it's his spiritual father, but because deep down in the inside, Farrakhan wanted to be Brother Malcolm. Farrakhan wanted Brother Malcolm's position. These are just facts.
Right.
You know, so this is why those two examples wouldn't be a good. Those wouldn't be good examples.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I didn't know some of the things you mentioned too, so yeah, I appreciate that. There's one other thing I want to mention too, and then I get off the phone. I don't know if anybody else brought this up, but I read it in a book, and when I get off the phone, I can cite the book. I put it in the chat, and people can Google it or whatever. But also it was said that one of the young girls, and I'm just saying young because these are Malcolm words. In fact, Malcolm is teenage girls, but one of the women that Elijah Muhammad was involved with, it was said that Malcolm liked one of the girls. In fact, he wanted to marry one of them at some time, at one point in time, and Elijah Muhammad wouldn't allow him to do it because he told Malcolm he's doing such a good job as a general of the nation of Islam, and he need to continue to work, and he can marry later. And then come to find out, Elijah Muhammad had impregnated one of these women, and it was said that Malcolm wasn't too pleased with that. In fact, they said that was one of the things that, that just ticked him off about the whole situation, because he didn't immediately run to the media when he found out about Elijah Muhammad being with these women. He went to Elijah Muhammad over the son first. He went to Wallace first to confirm it, and he spoke with Wallace. In fact, I think Malcolm or somebody had said themselves that they were gonna Malcolm was gonna try to like clean that situation up for Elijah Muhammad, like he was gonna try to cover him, because it was also talk around the nation that this was going on at the time.
That narrative. Let me say to you, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was never fearful of being exposed or none of that. That wasn't even the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's world. He didn't fear of that or any of that. For the Honorable Elijah Muhammad understood that kings and many great men, and even the man after God's own heart, had multiple wives. The only thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad didn't want to get out, the reason why, is because he knew that if he had openly came before the nation of Islam, with his wives, brothers who were not financially blessed at the time, wasn't mentally blessed at the time, wasn't in position to preside over multiple women, was going to desire multiple women. They was going to desire the same thing that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had, but they didn't have the wisdom. They didn't have the finances to preside over multiple women. So, brother, why would you want to have multiple wives when you can barely even take care of yourself by the grace of God? So, that was one of the reasons. Now, as far as Brother Malcolm wanted to marry this sister, I've heard that, but I'm just going to keep it a buck. Sin going to always keep it real. Just like I kept it real on Brother Malcolm, we going to keep it real on the Nation of Islam. The nation has said some things that wasn't true as well. Both sides have said some things that they shouldn't have said. And me personally, I don't even believe that story. It sounded like a bunch of bullshit even when I heard it. But I mean, that's just me though. I can smell the cologne and perfume of manipulation. And that sounds like, a story that we just made up to basically make it seem as if, Malcolm was butthurt over basically him not marrying this broad. So he just lost his mind and just went on a temper tantrum. Whoever created that story within the nation, they could have came up with a greater lie creation, to sit up there and minimize Brother Malcolm, because anybody that come, like I come from this pimping. And I think that's the reason why God allowed Brother Malcolm to come from where he came from and me to come from where I come from, because in the future, when I get involved back in spirituality and things like that, by me coming out this pimping, I can smell the cologne and perfume of manipulation, even if it's involved with church. or religious, or some people professing to be saved or what have you. I can just smell when somebody trying to, just like we kept it real, with Brother Malcolm, we gonna keep it real, with the nation. The nation is not perfect. The nation of Islam is not perfect. The Nation of Islam that did some shit that they ain't had no goddamn business doing. But that's just these are just facts. Now,
Right.
but as far as that story right there, like my boy said in the Bruce Lee movie, man, y'all niggas come straight out the comic book, man. You come straight out the comic book.
You're
man.
right. That could be slander, but I just want to put that out there because that is out there though.
That's
But,
like
that's it.
that's just like in one video they stood one sister up and she was saying things about Brother Malcolm. I might even post that later on the Patreon.
On YouTube.
Yeah, and she.
I think I seen that. You talking about that Farrakhan speech when he had the sisters up there?
Yeah,
about Malcolm?
Yeah, I seen that, and
Yeah.
you know how I am, man. I'm the pimpin', man. So trying to discredit or minimize a man's character because a woman talking about something, you done lost me already. So
He had several of them speak. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
He had the children up there too. Yeah.
And when you the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, how hard is it to convince, or instruct some women to say this or say that? They gonna say this and say that because they under the influence of the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. So that wasn't good enough for me. It don't take away my honor or love for the honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, but one thing I want you all to realize and recognize, that the man of God is just exactly that, man. That's what a lot of y'all be forgetting. Man of God.
Right.
Man, it's still a man. So by still being a man, there's gonna be a lot of insecurities, iniquities, and things that's contrary, to that which is right. As the Apostle Paul said in Romans 7:18, for I know that is in me, that is within my flesh, dwelleth no good thing, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. So the flesh is still unclean, brother. You don't walk in the Spirit of God. You don't walk in the spirit of righteousness 24/7, 365. No, you don't.
Right.
So by being see what the problem is, people exalt the man of God. People start praising and magnifying and glorifying God. The scriptures say, seek ye first the kingdom of God, but they be seeking the pastor. They seek the overseer.
Right, it becomes a personality code. Right.
Exactly. Now, right. And another thing I want to bring out is, that was another thing, another problem with Malcolm too. And I want y'all to pay attention to that. If you look at all Malcolm's speeches before he left the nation, Malcolm would always initiate, all his speeches before when they start, he would always give praise and acknowledgement to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. It was the spirit of idolatry, even in the pulpit. They had exalted the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to be pretty much God. So, of course, when your God showed you that he's a man instead of God, yeah, that hurt your feelings. But it was your fault. Hold on. But it was your fault for putting a creature as the creator. Go ahead.
No. I was just gonna not add to that, but say something about what you just said.
Go ahead.
I agree. So do you think that some of that was Malcolm's fault also because he pedestalized Elijah Muhammad? So that would kind of explain why he was so, because it's obvious that Malcolm was hurt. So because you say he emotionally reacted, we can all see that. Ray Charles can see that. But do you think that was also part of his fault by pedestalizing Elijah Muhammad, but by looking to him as being this God or this father figure, that when he found out he was just a man, when he found out he was with these women, or found out that he was doing something that was contrary to his teaching and all that, he was so hurt. He was so hurt by that.
No.
He was lost without Elijah Muhammad.
No, that's not the correct narrative. Okay. I'm gonna give it to you because what you said, many people believe that, and that's not accurate. Because see, when you idolize somebody and you see the individual as God, that means that you're obedient to them. Jesus said, if you love me, you'll keep my commandments. So if
Right.
he idolized him in totality, at that time, then when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him not to speak on the president, Malcolm would have obeyed with no hesitation. But see, by that time, whether people want to admit it or not, but by that time, Brother Malcolm had became egotistical. Brother Malcolm had began to have his own ego and his own shine. At one time, that is accurate. Brother Malcolm did see the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, to be God and things like that. But, as you keep praising and acknowledging and worshiping and, everybody pretty much giving adoration and praise and ready to magnify Malcolm, Malcolm began to get his own, praise. It almost like when that hurt King Saul's heart, when he heard, Saul kills 1,000, but David kills 10,000. You know what I'm saying? Malcolm began to hear his praises. Like, yeah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
The women were saying it.
Yeah, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad,
Yeah.
He's wise, but he's not dynamic like Brother Malcolm. I became a Muslim because of Brother Malcolm. You did too? I became a Muslim because of Brother Malcolm. So, all of them was praising and glorifying Malcolm. So by that time, Malcolm was feeling himself, because if he, in the days of old, like in the beginning, if you follow Malcolm's teachings, Malcolm, I forgot in this one particular speech, he said that he was pretty much saying, this is not word for word verbatim, but he was pretty much saying that I'm not nothing. I'm only repeating the thoughts of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm nothing. I'm not, in the beginning, he had nothing but humility, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was God and flesh to him. Okay?
Right.
But as he continued, to be glorified and get praised and, start feeling himself like every other, every minister will feel this spirit. Every real minister that got any type of popularity, it's a test, it's a spirit that you'll go through because the people will make you a god. And that's what they begin to do. So yeah, man, that's what transpired. If the Honorable Elijah, if Malcolm had seen the Honorable Elijah Muhammad as God at that time, then yeah, he would have been obedient to him. But due to the fact that Malcolm seen himself, as God at that time, or was feeling himself, he didn't listen to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad that time. No, he was feeling himself, and he thought that his judgment, he thought that his wisdom in this pertaining to this matter, was better than his own. Sin got this part wrong.
Okay.
Sin didn't get turned.
I can't see the chat right now. Somebody says on the chat.
Yeah, but if you heard the early messages of Brother Malcolm, he always, and it was sincere, and he was filled with humility. All right? But later on, but later on, the brother did become egotistical. Now, of course, that's contrary to the thoughts of many Malcolm X cult leader fan followers. But yes, I believe that Brother Malcolm became egotistical and he began to feel himself. That's just my look and take on it.
Okay. I'm gonna ask you this last question, then I can get off. You can answer it when I get off or whatever. But because I do agree that Malcolm, like you said, Malcolm emotionally reacted. So why do you may have mentioned it already? I was kind of in and out. Maybe I didn't hear it. So why do you think Malcolm was in his feelings then? Like, why do you? For like emotionally reacting to the Elijah Muhammad, because it was obvious that he was. If you can go on YouTube and watch like some of his last interviews, and he wasn't the same no more. Even his speeches outside of the Nation of Islam, he didn't have that same fire. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like he wasn't. It's almost like he was lost without the nation.
Listen to me.
Yeah.
They're not going to admit this. People in the Nation of Islam not going to admit this. But the truth is, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is a man, and he had men within the nation talking in his ear, telling him that Brother Malcolm was trying to take over the nation. Okay?
Right.
So you have to keep that in mind. You know, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad was hearing from different ministers and brothers, yeah, Malcolm think he God. You know, Malcolm did this, and Malcolm did that, and Malcolm did this, and Malcolm did that. He had people in his ear as well, even though people think that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is God, but no, he's a man, and he had different men, you know, speaking in his ear, you know, about Brother Malcolm.
Right.
So, you know, this was a whole divide and conquer, you know, type of thing. But the reason why Brother Malcolm was so upset is because a lot of you wouldn't understand, because you never been a preacher, you never been a minister before. But just picture the whole world at your feet. When you preach and teach, people run to you. You know, they want to hear everything that you got to say because you're a fiery preacher. You're a fiery minister. Malcolm loved to teach. Malcolm loved to preach. Malcolm loved preaching so much, you could have woke him up at any time of the day and he would have got up and preached. The man loved preaching. And for you to tell this man, you know, you're silence. As of right now, you know what I mean? You're silent. Don't say anything. And of course, everybody outside, even the people that's listening right now, wouldn't be able to understand. Because they ain't never been no preacher before. They ain't never been no minister.
Right.
You know, but as a minister, especially when you have young people and young ministers looking up to you as the great Malcolm X, you know what I mean? And now you're silenced. You know, you got to picture that. People saw Malcolm as the greatest definition of discipline. They're looking at him like he's perfect. And for him to get silenced, you know, of course, that's not gonna sit well with your pride, especially if you don't feel that you were wrong. You know, you don't, because let's be truthful, he didn't lie. When he made them statements, when Brother Malcolm said them statements that he said concerning the president, Brother Malcolm didn't lie. That was the truth. Just like Minister Khalid, when Khalid was speaking, you know what I mean, and it got back, you know what I mean, to Farrakhan, the things that Khalid was speaking. Nothing that Khalid said that night, you know what I mean, was wrong. Khalid was accurate. Khalid was accurate in everything that he said. He didn't say nothing wrong, you know, but that's another subject. Yeah. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? I just think that Brother Malcolm's ego, of course, at that time, people not going to say it, but everybody talking about, he was humble, man, listen, even Moses, you know what I mean, smoked that rock. Even Moses, in his anger, you know what I mean, disobeyed God. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, he did.
When people
he paid for it too. Yeah.
Exactly. So when people get into their feelings, man, you don't know what they're going to do.
Right, that's true. That's true. No, man, I appreciate your insight, man. Matter of fact, I appreciate everything you do, man. You know, I've been a long time subscriber, man, and I appreciate your platform.
Okay, Prince, who is this? Hold on, let me come up here. I seen Prince's Com Page. Okay, Com Page, what's your number? What's your first three numbers? Cause so far what I'm seeing in the comments seem like, what's your numbers, brother? Okay, you got a 718. Okay, call in right now. Okay, I think this should. Hello. Okay, hello?
Peace, brother. Hold on 1 second. I ain't even think I get through to you.
Okay, this is Brother Khan?
All right. Yeah, exactly, brother. How you doing? Peace. Long time listening. Real name Rashid. How you doing, brother?
Okay, Brother Rashid. Blessings to you. Go ahead and speak your piece.
All right, man. So the first thing we got to talk about is there's so much to talk about. The first thing to talk about is the FBI, though. The first thing we got to talk about is, the first thing I got to say is that I just learned this like last year, but back when Malcolm was in prison in like the 50s, the FBI already started their following him. So the FBI is like the FBI is more serious than I realized it is, than I would have thought it is. But either way, by the time we get up to like 63, what we're dealing with is the FBI has already said we are going to separate Elijah from Malcolm. We're going to separate Elijah and Malcolm. And what the FBI did, well, first off, in Harlem is John Ali and is Malcolm, and they was like they came up in the nation together. Malcolm John was the captain, Malcolm was the minister, and they had their own falling out. Malcolm didn't like him, and somehow at the last second, Elijah comes back and saves John, right? And either way, so what's going on is that the whole family, the whole Nation of Islam headquarters is heavily infiltrated by the FBI and on some silence Malcolm shit. And for a long time, Elijah was shielding him. A long time, Elijah was protecting Malcolm, but then he gave up, and then he just stopped protecting him. And so by the time Elijah says, "Don't say nothing about Kennedy," by the time he says that, it was like just saying that was just proof
stop. What is your evidence to prove that the FBI was giving instructions to the Honorable Elijah?
There's a lot of papers. I'm going off Zach Condo's book. I'm going off of there's like 3 or 4 books that were written. But this is widely written. What's that?
Excuse me. I'm gonna listen to you, but I'm gonna listen to you, but this information is incorrect. But go ahead.
All right, cool. All right. So by the time we get up to Kennedy dying, there's already been a campaign. I don't know if you could say there isn't or whatever, but there's already been a campaign against Malcolm by the time that thing comes up. And the thing, so where I always come from with this is that Malcolm was leaving his family. Malcolm was all over the country. Malcolm was a super loyal person. Malcolm, I've never seen a Malcolm speech when he was in the nation that he didn't start off by saying in the name of, even after he left, Malcolm was always super loyal. But the thing is that Malcolm was also the best person in the nation ever at dealing with the press. So to tell Malcolm what to say about Kennedy, that's like telling Michael Jordan, don't shoot from the left side or something. Like it's like the president of the Bulls is the boss, but he don't know what to tell Malcolm about shooting.
That's not a good example, but go ahead.
All right, all right, so cool. So either way, so where I'm going with this is that Malcolm was was always loyal, and Malcolm was
Malcolm was always loyal.
Well, yes, Malcolm was always even that time when they said don't say nothing about Kennedy, so he didn't say nothing about Kennedy. He just
listen. Let me
speak.
You cannot be loyal to me while being disobedient to me.
All right, that's true.
The caller is not. Hold on, stop. Let me say this. The caller is not on point. Are you guys slow? How the hell you're loyal to me while you're disobedient to me? There's no loyalty.
Can I answer or not?
There is no loyalty. Well, wait till I heard that shit you was talking. I listened to that shit. There's no loyalty in disobedience. Y'all can't be this slow.
That's true.
There's no fucking loyalty and no damn disobedience. And motherfuckers talking about, man, the caller on point. How the fuck is the caller on point? And the caller is saying that Malcolm was always loyal.
I'm not going to say nothing until you say I could speak.
Okay, listen. You just said that Malcolm was loyal. He was matter of fact, excuse me. Your statement was Malcolm is always loyal. He was always loyal. But then
I did say that too.
But then you admit that he was disobedient.
That's not what I said, but
No,
you said that.
no,
I'm not saying
no,
it's wrong.
no. Stop. I'm the king of this. You can't do this with the pimping. You said out of your mouth that Malcolm was always loyal. Did you not say
I did
that?
say that, yes. I did say that, yes.
Okay, and did you just admit, and did you also admit that he was disobedient when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad told him not?
Disobedient, no.
So wait a minute. You didn't just admit right now that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave Malcolm instructions and he disobeyed them. You didn't sit up there and just admit that.
Elijah gave Malcolm an instruction, don't speak about Kennedy. He didn't say Kennedy's name.
Okay, so watch this. Watch
he
this.
was slick and averted the question.
Did Malcolm, no, he did not. No, he did not.
He was slick.
See, this is what I mean, man. You guys be in the comment section presenting yourselves to be something that you're not. Listen, brother. The man was disobedient. If he was not disobedient, he would have never. Stop. Stop. Wait a minute. Am I not speaking right now? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? Are you high?
Say that?
I'm saying, are you high?
Am I high? No, I'm not high.
Okay,
no,
then. Okay, then don't interrupt me no more when I'm talking, and I'm not gonna interrupt you when you're talking. That's how we're gonna do that.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Perfect.
So
one thing, brother, just tell me when I can
wait a
speak.
minute, hold on. The next time you do that, I'm gonna remove you because I just told you to stop doing that shit. All right. When Brother Malcolm was silenced, why was he silenced if he was not disobedient? Did he get silenced for being obedient? Go ahead. I'm quiet.
Okay. All right. So Malcolm was told not to speak on Kennedy. Malcolm didn't say Kennedy's name. And Malcolm didn't say Kennedy's name. Malcolm thought that Malcolm was the best PR person the nation ever had. Because Malcolm was the best PR person the nation ever had, Malcolm thought, I have an order, don't say Kennedy's name. I'm not going to say Kennedy's name, but I'm still going to say it's enough to get a little article in the paper. Hold up. The New York Times had an article. It was on page 21 in 1960 paper. It's not on the front page, but on page 21, there's a three-paragraph article says that Malcolm said something about chicken come home to roost. Somebody in the article says that you could look up the Times from 1963, but somebody in the audience said he found it funny, and Malcolm got a little article put in the Times. Which Malcolm had always been doing. Malcolm got publicity for the Nation of Islam, which is what he always had been doing, and he didn't say Kennedy's name. So, because Elijah already was hearing, "Don't fuck with Malcolm," because there already was a campaign against Malcolm in effect, that already was starting to have an effect on Elijah. Elijah suspended him for 90 days for something that is totally petty. And it was a totally petty thing to do. This is not how you measure Malcolm's loyalty. Malcolm was always loyal, especially up until that point. It was just a petty thing he did because people was in his ear. So he was, in a real petty technical sense, disloyal. He was overall loyal, and he was in a real petty technical sense disobedient. 2 years earlier, if the same thing had happened, Elijah would not have sat him down because it was not a big thing. Overall, that article was good for the nation. Overall, there was no wardens was putting Nation of Islam people into solitary. It was everything that Farrakhan say now about how that article was going to hurt the nation was just it's totally false. It was Malcolm did a good job getting a little bit of good press for the Nation of Islam, but Elijah was already turning against him. And Elijah was turning against him because there was a big campaign orchestrated. And another thing we got to talk about is we got to talk about Chicago. We got to talk about Chicago's the headquarters of the Nation of Islam. Every mosque, including, of course, mosque number 4 in Philly, 4 in D.C., I forgot the mosque in Boston, 11's in Boston, New York is 7. Every mosque is sending money to Chicago. And Elijah's family's eating off of that. Elijah's children are driving nice cars, living in mansions. And Malcolm is not on that. Malcolm is living poor on purpose. Malcolm is not on that level of taking believers' money and spending on yourself. So Malcolm is on some real austere shit and they know this. And so by the time Elijah's turning against him, Elijah's being turned against him by one, the FBI, and there's a lot of things you could read to read about the FBI's campaign. Elijah was not directly turned by the FBI, but the people in the Nation of Islam leadership and Elijah's children were directly in conversation with the FBI, and there was an FBI orchestrated campaign to separate Malcolm. And when Malcolm left the nation, the FBI said, "We have successfully separated Malcolm from Elijah." That's in the papers that Freedom of Information Act requests have gotten out. That's reality. So I'm done.
Okay, I wanted the people to hear you speak and listen to everything that you had to say. And the whole time,
I got like two other things to say.
Okay, brother, I gotta let you go. Just for doing
so
that.
good, brother. All right.
No
doubt,
Goodbye.
brother. Have a good day.
All right, God
Yep.
bless you.
Bye. Yep.
Goodbye. Complete goofy. I sat up there and it's just like when you talking to a bitch. And when you talking to the bitch, she, you say, you know what? I'm gonna listen to you. And when I speak, I don't want to be interrupted. And then you allow the bitch to talk. And the bitch go on to talk for a good 1,200 seconds. And for 1,200 seconds, she talking and she ain't said a goddamn thing that made sense at all. But because you said out of your mouth as a man that you was going to be quiet and not interrupt her for one time while she was talking, you know what I mean? You had to honor your word. So you didn't interrupt her one time. But the moment that you opened your mouth, you don't get to even make it 10 to 15 seconds because she just immediately interrupt you because she know that she sounds stupid. The bitch know that she sound dumb, but she was just talking any goddamn way. And that's exactly what we just heard now. That was equivalent to like a bitch just running her mouth and not saying a goddamn thing that makes sense. Not a damn thing that made sense. Motherfucker sound like he's sweating. Motherfucker sound like he in a damn pigeon coop that's 200 degrees and he just sweating and he called in just if you read if you go over if you go over this clip, okay, it's a news clip from 1954. Like, what? It's your goof ass on. And this is what I tell you guys about LeBron James fans. One thing LeBron James fans got in common with Mike Tyson fans and even people who are the part of the cult following with Brother Malcolm. One thing all y'all got in common is that you're against logical thinking. Like when somebody speaks, in the language of logical thinking, because I keep telling y'all, the language of logical thinking does not exist in the world of emotionalism. This doesn't exist at all. In the world of emotionalism, logical thinking can't even fit in. So the cold part about it is the man said that Brother Malcolm was always loyal, and then he went on to say, he admitted that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave instructions and they were not followed. And I was so hurt to see somebody in the comment section talking about the caller on point. I don't know if you guys be saying that shit to irritate the fuck out of me when you hear somebody dumb as fuck and you be pretending like they smart or they saying something that, ooh, shit, woo, he bringing the heat. He talking about, let's talk about the FBI. Yeah, let's talk about the FBI. Yeah, okay, we got to talk about Chicago. That boy talking about Chicago, seeing you ain't ready for him, nigga. He said, let's take it to Chicago. Goof ass niggas. Oh man, he's showing out. Ooh, he on point. No, the fuck he ain't. Stupid motherfucker just sit up there and just said that Malcolm was always loyal, but then admits that he was disobedient to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. There is no loyalty in disobedience. Let me teach you something that Andre Taylor taught me years ago. It's not what I said, it's that I said. Did you hear me? It's not what I said, it's that I said. So when I give instructions, it's not so much of what I said, it's just that I said. You know? Hold on. Remember that. It's not what I said, it's that I said. Real simple, but just think of that. Remember that. All the instructors, you can be a preacher, a teacher. You know, when you tell a woman something, or you tell your student something, or you tell somebody something, it's not so much of what I said, it's just that I said. It's just the fact that I said it. So because I said it, it's got to be done. You know, it's not so much of what I said, it's that I said. Remember that. And moving on, you know what I mean? The Honorable Elijah Muhammad, I wouldn't give a damn if he told Brother Malcolm, for 10 days, I want you to wear, you know what I mean, black and white shoes. Somebody might say, why in the hell would the Honorable Elijah Muhammad it's not what he said, it's that he said. It's not what he said, it's that he said. And the fact that your overseer told you something and it was not a follow, there's no loyalty in disobedience. Obedience is better than sacrifice. You understand me? There is no loyalty in disobedience. People be trying to sound deep. He was always loyal. No, you're not. You're not always loyal when you being rebellious, when you being disobedient. No, you're not. You know. Okay. Who told that man to call in? Bro, I do not know. I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I'll take one more call. I'll take one more. Let's try to get one more call in. Whoever want to call in right now, you know, we can still get it in. You know, I'm gonna be like DMX. That's your man. That's your man. You know, that's y'all dude that was calling in. That was supposed to be the Prince that thought that he was sharp, that he really had something to say. Then another nigga talking about, man, the caller on point. Nigga just as dumb as a box of rocks. The caller on point. Caller sound dumb as fuck. Hello?
Hey, how you doing, brother Sam?
What's going on?
Can you hear me, sir? It's Ron for speaking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. With your permission, may I get your viewpoint on who you think perhaps, how should I say, caused Malcolm X to depart from the earth, so to speak, sir? And the reason I asked it, go ahead.
Well, by me asking a question first, I would like for my question to be answered first before we could proceed on to anything else.
Oh, yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive me for that.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that Malcolm X was wrong about speaking against the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, because you did say disobedience and loyalty can't go together. But if I'm not mistaken, then Malcolm X sent an apology letter or something to that nature. I could be wrong.
Now, I know what you're speaking of. You're speaking of the apology video, and I have that posted on my channel. But some are actually challenging the dates of that, because there's no evidence to support when that was recorded. For all we know, and which you know, I understand. Now, I actually believe that Brother Malcolm wanted to be back in good graces and be at peace with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I believe that, but I have no proof, so I ain't gonna act like I have proof to prove the date of when that was recorded. For all we know, Malcolm could have sent that to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for something in times past when he was a part of the nation, not when he left the nation. You know what I mean? And that could be used by the nation to make it seem as if Malcolm was trying to get back in the nation. You know, just like Malcolm had character flaws, you know, you have to also consider that brothers within the Nation of Islam have character flaws as well. But go ahead.
Yes, sir. That's that's pretty much all I can really say about the question you put up. But I do really appreciate you actually taking my call because I have been listening to you for a good while now.
Man, you said you out there in Mississippi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well, I got a special love, man, for everybody in Mississippi. You know, that's where my family, that's where we originally from. I got a, family all over there in Mississippi, man.
Yes, sir. Because I know down here in Mississippi, we say like Mississippi and Chicago, we like brothers and sisters. I know during the summertime, my people from up there, they come down here during Jones Chapel, United Methodist Church homecoming. They'd come down, and it'd be people for days when we go out to my late great granddaddy Charlie's house. It's just a lot of fun.
I can go on and on talking to people from Mississippi because talking to people from Mississippi is like talking to myself, you know? Chicago ain't nothing but Mississippi. Go ahead.
Yes, and I do want to apologize for starting off with the question, but instead of answering the question that you presented on YouTube, sir. Forgive me for doing that.
Oh no. But did you
Sir.
want to say something or ask something before you go?
Yes, sir. I've read, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I read on a forum that the reason that Malcolm X was assassinated was out of the jealousy of Wallace Warren Muhammad, Elijah Muhammad's son, and he allowed FBI agents to infiltrate the Nation of Islam as a way of making it seem that the entire Nation of Islam and Elijah Muhammad had a hit out for Malcolm X when that wasn't the case. Is there any validity to that, sir?
I don't know that to be true. I never, and I know that a lot of people are going to dislike me for this, but Wallace was a very intelligent man. However, I really didn't care for his character. I didn't like the character of Wallace Dean Muhammad. Very intelligent man, very knowledgeable man, but I just didn't care for his character. He did some things that was very disrespectful and dishonorable in my eyes. That's just my opinion.
Yes, sir. Okay, well, I appreciate that. But the next time you have a call in, I'll make sure to just call in, sir.
Well, man, I appreciate you for calling in, beloved, and thank you for taking out the time to bless my platform. And blessings to Mississippi.
Yes, sir. Take care.
All right.
All right.
See, that's just real, man. That just means I need to be back around fam. Just listening to him, man, that's how my family is. Like, you talking about respectful. Everything is yes, sir, no, sir. You know what I'm saying? Man, that's how my family is. Yes, sir, no, sir. Bro, I don't even have that much time on the thing. Why you wait till the last minute to say, can I call in? And now I'm over 3 hours. Why didn't you do the same thing that the Goofy said and just sit up there and tell me your number or something like that? You gonna wait till the ass end, you know what I mean, of the conversation. Ain't no way in the world you been trying to call in, you know what I mean, for the last 2 hours, you know what I mean, and you ain't got in. The phone line wasn't that busy. As you can see now, ain't nobody calling. You could have been got in, man. You sitting over there playing games, man. Knock it off. You could have been got in. He gonna wait till the last. I hate when y'all do that shit. Excuse me. I dislike when y'all do that shit. Wait till the last minute, knowing that I'm about to close out. Talking about sin. Matter of fact, let me just see if this is him. Hello.
What up, bro? What up, big dog? This is?
Who is this?
This kid, he brought this one of your fathers from the city from Chicago. Look, I had heard, I was just listening to Fam, right?
Bro, I got love for the city, but you the wrong caller. Blessings, love, Shy. Okay, but I gotta go. I only answered because I thought that was dude. I wanted to give him his 2 seconds of fame. Nigga, wait till the last damn minute and shit. You know, I've been trying to call in for over 120 minutes you couldn't get in? Niggas is crazy. Okay, listen, man. Yeah, man. The reason why I don't feel sorry is because I gave you guys 2 videos, part 1 and part 2, and you still couldn't get in? God damn. Hello.
Yeah, that's me, man.
Okay, so hurry up. Speak your piece. Twist to that shit.
No, I wanted to ask you first.
No, brother, we don't even got that much time. Speed. Go ahead. Kick your shit.
I wanted to say I don't think Malcolm was wrong. If you look at the timeline, if you look at the timeline, he found out all this stuff in 1963. He didn't leave the nation until 64. He died in 65. So him making those statements
what evidence do you have to prove that Malcolm just came to the realization of the flaws of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad in 63?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's what you just. Okay, go ahead.
All right, that's not what I meant. From the research I did when I looked it up, it said in 63 that's when Elijah Muhammad what you call it?
Bro, listen, I could already tell you ain't got your shit together. You should have been called in.
I was trying, but it's all good. I'll catch you next time.
All right, man. Blessings to you.
All right.
Y'all had me, and that's another thing I dislike. Y'all be making a motherfucker like he about a person about to come with some cold knowledge, like they about to come with the tablets. Niggas about to come with the Dead Sea Scrolls. Like, yeah, let him call in, Sin. Let him call in. You know what I mean? Like a nigga about to come with it. And then they come and they don't even have their shit. Like, yeah, man, back in ADBC, woo woo. And as soon as you ask them a question, everything fall apart. Okay, what evidence do you have, you know what I mean, to give confirmation to this? And the reason why it's because I know the majority of y'all is memorizing motherfucking shit from YouTubers that you mesmerized by. So what happens is in the comment section, you will have individuals putting on Oscar Award performances as if they got some incontestable truth, when the reality is they memorized some shit by a motherfucker they was mesmerized by on YouTube, and then they try to come bring this shit over here to this pimping. You know, and then they get crossed up, they get the ball blocked, they think they about to do a crossover, come up in the paint and get their shit just blocked. The Kid Natumbo style. Just blocked. Nigga thought he was gonna do the Tim Hardaway in the prime. Thought he was gonna do the answer. Niggas thought they was gonna do the AI, and then come right in the paint and just blocky. You know what I'm saying? But look, man, make sure you go to my Patreon. I want everybody to go to my Patreon, because I'm putting information on Patreon that I am not putting on YouTube. I'm going to give you information that if you actually watch these films, if you look at these lectures, if you pay attention to the references, you understand me, it will confirm everything that I've said within these videos. I'm giving you the videos where I got the information from. I will also provide, if you want that, I will actually give you, the Patreon. Tell them, bro, the Patreon is lit. But anyway, man, it's time for me to go. You know, I don't like to be over 3 hours. Plus, you know, when Sin go live, I'll be on the phone. I'm ghetto. And this phone, you know, it's going to die at any moment. I don't he was still moving 1 mile per hour. You know what I mean? So I love you guys. I hope you live as long as you want, never want as long as you live. So hopefully, you know what I mean, later on I get a chance to come back. Maybe we'll get to chop it up about, plus I got some trending topics to deal with. It is Friday. So yeah, it's 4:13. I'm gonna try to have my shit taken care of at least by 9 or 10 o'clock or something, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, I gotta go. Love you guys. One.